Sorry I'm late. I was eating an egg sandwich, and
Ew.
had to take my time with that one. So.
An egg sandwich? It's just eggs in a sandwich?
Yeah, well, I can't eat a lot of food, so.
But you don't have to put egg between bread.
It tastes better. I've been eating just plain eggs for 5 years, so.
You can't have like a little barbecue sauce with that or anything?
I mean, I probably could. I just don't want to, Actually, that's gross. Barbecue sauce on eggs.
Why?
That doesn't sound good to me.
It's really good. It's like chicken with barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. Do you eat eggs, or you're no meat, right?
Yeah, I eat eggs, though.
You eat eggs? Okay. That's cool. Alright, well, it was good talking to you.
Uh-huh, okay, bye!
Okay. Alright, let's, what was it? Oh, let's shake and bake.
Baby.
I can think of what it was.
Shake and bake baby.
Oh yeah, let's shake and bake, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who are you calling a baby? Just kidding. I know you wouldn't call me a baby, kid. Alright.
You called me baby.
Oh, that's true. Lee is gonna be mad.
Mm-hmm.
He's a baby. I don't care about. You're like baby, like a babe, and then he's just a baby.
Big baby. Okay.
Yeah. So tell him I said that.
I will.
We started a feud with Mark Maron last podcast, so now we're gonna start a feud with your husband.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he still gonna provide our theme song?
Oh yeah.
Or do we have to get a new theme song? Do a new theme song, Mike. Go.
Okay.
Go. 3, 2, 1, go.
You might as well face it, you're shooting the Swift.
That's the first thing that pops into your head?
Yeah, well, you know how my head is, so.
I feel like that's going to be a classic moment in this podcast.
We haven't even started yet. That's going
in, obviously.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So Lee, I'd like to apologize to you for starting a feud with you a moment ago. We need you back, as you can tell by that theme song.
I don't know.
I hope he comes back to us. You have beautiful hair, Lee. I love you.
She's known for writing songs that appeal to young women, but he doesn't care. He thinks she's got that something. His friend wants to understand him. What makes her so commanding? Once a week they get together and talk all about her hits. Shootin', shootin' the Swift. I'm talking about shootin', shootin' the Swift with you.
Okay, so welcome Swifties and potential Swifties. Welcome to Shootin' the Swift, episode number 6. Today we will be discussing Speak Now, which came out in October 2010, so it's been like 4 years. I'm Mike, and this is Kit.
Hello.
Hi Kit, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well. You've been on vacation, haven't you?
Yeah, for 3 weeks.
Nice. You have a good time?
Vacation. Uh-huh. I did.
Excellent. I know that I missed you. I'm sure the viewers missed you as well.
You missed, like, talking to you on the phone, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I probably texted you a dozen times a day, so.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways. So, I've been good too. Not that you asked, but.
I said, how are you, I think?
But yeah, there's big news over at my house. My parents' house.
Oh, your sister?
My sister got married.
I really want to hear about that, but we're supposed to be talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, we've gotten off to kind of a disjointed start. We have my classic theme song from the beginning, and we're just rolling with it.
Were you in the wedding?
I was an usher. I wasn't in the wedding party.
Okay.
But it was nice. I think I did a good job ushing. And
ushing?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Ushing?
No, I mean that's what I was calling it.
Where was it? Was it at your parents' house?
No, it was at a church.
Okay.
It was just kind of closer into Kansas City. It was nice, though. It was a very nice ceremony. I think they're going to make a lovely couple. They've been dating for 10 years, so they should make a pretty good couple.
I really want to see pictures and stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess...
I've never met your sister, which is kind of weird.
No, you met her. You were here for Thanksgiving.
But she wasn't there, was she?
Yeah, she was there.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Well,
I remember your mom and dad, but not your sister at all.
I'm pretty sure she was here, because wasn't she with us a little bit when we watched Love Actually?
watch Love Actually. We watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay. I don't remember.
I'm almost positive that I've never met Stacy because then Brandon would be asking me about her all the time.
Oh, that's true. I wonder if he knows that she got married.
Oh, you better tell him.
Poor Bran.
He's gonna break his Bran. You should call him Raisin Bran.
I should.
When he's old, he'll be Raisin Bran.
Yeah. No, when he's old, he'll be like just plain Bran.
I was thinking because he's big, wrinkly like a raisin.
Oh, I was thinking because old people eat Bran.
But they also eat raisins, aren't they? Both like make you poop and stuff.
I don't know.
Okay, you should. If anyone that I know would know that, it would be you.
That's true. Well, I mean, everything makes me poop. Welcome back to Shootin' the Swift. Let's see here. What do we got? This is our first episode in about a month. Kit's been on vacation. Mm-hmm. We posted everything we have up on YouTube, so we've kind of burned through the reserves. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a fresh podcast for next week. My sister got married. We're going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Big news we've had in Swiftland.
A lot.
Oh yeah, I know. It's kind of like
I don't even know how to go through it all. It's going to have to be your lead.
I was thinking we would just talk a little bit about Shake It Off, but then save everything for when we get to 1989.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's no real reason to, other than it would be fun, but there's no reason to talk about, like, all of the, like, just, like, books worth of stuff that's happened in the past month.
Okay,
so.
But what about the VMAs, though?
Okay, we can talk, but we should keep it brief.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's all stuff we could talk about when we talk about 1989.
Okay.
So Shake It Off. I guess, yeah, we should start with Shake It Off. You listened to it, I assume.
Yeah,
Splendid.
Yeah, I listened to it on vacation, and we texted about it.
Right. Pretty good. Well, that's not going to be interesting to people listening. We texted about it. So you loved it. You think it's the best song that you've ever heard from her or anybody. And right, I felt the same way.
You think that it's just okay.
That is not true. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I'm super excited.
I think it's really good. I think it's a really a very strong single.
I agree.
I have some things that I don't like as much about it, but overall, great single. I think.
Well, actually, I was watching, I've been kind of working through Lars von Trier's filmography this summer.
Yeah.
Okay, I was watching The Kingdom, which is a TV series he did for Danish television. Mm-hmm. And this is from season 2, episode 1. And I feel like this answers some of your criticisms.
Okay.
And some of the other ones I've heard. Mm-hmm. You were kind of a little worried that she was, in going pop, that she was maybe sacrificing some of what makes her so amazing just in order to kind of become bigger, or maybe following trends, or experimenting, but maybe
I think it's a little bit of like, I gotta stay as huge as I am,
right,
which is hard.
Right. Well, especially when you're that big, like that's
exactly. Yeah, it's like that's very hard.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what Lars von Trier had to say. And this is like 1997, so this wasn't directly about Taylor Swift, but I feel like he was kind of speaking into the future. Okay. He said, "Taste and habit go hand in hand, but letting them run away with us will do us no good. But if we can relinquish just once what has comforted and filled us, and really say goodbye, perhaps the result will be a merry wee hello to something new, unlike the old and not tasting like it, and for precisely that reason, not so bad at all." So I felt like that was a good, it's, she's doing something different. I guess, we don't really have to say goodbye. We still have the old albums, but this is going to be kind of a new Taylor. And from the sound of it, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, the lead single is something that's got to be broad, and it's got to try and draw more people in and keep more people on board. So I feel like, I think I told you, like, if the whole album was sort of this lyrically simple, I would probably have to reconsider, I'm not going to say I would be upset. I obviously wouldn't. but I think
If you found out that she was in the KKK, would you be upset, or would you be like, oh, I guess I'm, KKK has some good ideas?
well, I mean, I think
Because, like, what could she do? If the album was just, like, fart noises, would you be like, well, I like this now?
I mean, I probably would like that. I think if she joined the KKK, I would probably stop being as vocal of a supporter, but
You'd still love her.
I would still love her, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, part of why I love her with no qualms, with with unconditional love, is that she wouldn't do something like join the KKK.
Okay, that's true.
So
I also wanted to say to all the ladies out there listening, if you are looking for a guy who loves Taylor Swift and Lars von Trier, then I have possibly the one person on earth for you. So please write us.
Yes, please do. It is weird, just I listen to these podcasts, alone in my apartment. I just think, like, how am I still single? It doesn't make any sense.
I spit Diet Coke out of my nose.
And yet you are married, So
I know.
you're sitting there chewing on Nutella.
I
spitting
don't
cocaine.
really like Taylor Swift or Lars von Trier.
Yeah, it's weird.
How did I find somebody? Although, to be fair, Lee loves Lars von Trier. So.
Right, and Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift.
So there you go. Okay, another thing too I was going to say. Sorry, my notes are not organized very well.
Okay.
But, so...
Apologizing to me or the listeners?
To everybody.
Okay, who cares?
So, we're not going to go super in deep to Shake It Off, but the opening lines, like, of the song, like, they're not common criticisms. Like,
That's the best part of the song, though.
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
saying they've kind of become more interesting as I've heard kind of over the past week the reception of the song. Mm-hmm. There's like, I stay out too late and I got nothing in my brain. And I feel like those are things you didn't really hear too much of from the haters traditionally, but in my little Taylor Swift, corner of the internet, I feel like people are kind of talking about her in that way. Like, I Stay Out Too Late would be more like she's lost herself in kind of like the celebrity, like, cosmopolitan scene. Mm-hmm. Like, she's no longer country. And then Got Nothing in My Brain, like, everybody's saying, like, oh, I think this is like a stupid move for her. Like, she doesn't realize that by going pop, she's such and such. And so, like, I feel like, I admit, like, I've kind of, like, flirted with some of those concerns. Mm-hmm. But again, to say it again, like, the conclusion I keep coming to is that, like, well, first of all, I think it's cool that the song sort of preempts that criticism. But then, yeah, like, this is Taylor Swift, so let's all, let's at least hear the album before we get all upset and cry about country music and all this business.
Well, yeah, I don't give a shit about country, and I mean, she hasn't been country. I mean, Red's not country at all either. But, we talked about this, and my concern, and it really doesn't have to do with this single. It's just the parts in this single that I don't like, because I think she should try. You have to try new things. She shouldn't just put out the same album every time she puts out an album.
Right.
And speaking of Speak Now and Fearless are pretty similar, in terms of their tone, in my opinion.
Right.
But I think the parts of the song that bug are the parts that seem the most like Kesha, or like just like what's going on right now. The stuff that, like, most of the people who are famous right now and who are relevant right now won't be in 6 months, and I think she could be in 60 years still relevant. But so obviously there's a balance that needs to be upheld, but I don't want to see her trade too much of the things that make her sort of timeless and classic, which are my particular values. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I like, is stuff that's more, I don't know, sounds now like it will stand the test of time. Although there are things that are really of the moment that I like, but, like, for instance, that Did you hear the new Nicki Minaj song, Anaconda?
No, did she play it at the VMAs?
Yeah, but I didn't see that part. I missed the beginning.
Okay, I wasn't listening.
Okay, but it's
Okay.
basically it's almost it's a the entire thing is based around like a remix of Baby Got Back,
Oh yeah.
and the verse of that Lee and I were talking about this. And we can cut this out, but the verse of that song is like do 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 do. You know that part that's like the beat
Yeah.
of, and like that's what the verse is, and it's like Lee and I were both sitting there listening to it, and we're like, that's awesome. Like it's goofy, but it sounds amazing. And then the chorus and the pre-chorus are horrible because they just say over and over, my anaconda don't, my anaconda don't, and it's just like, oh, you took it too far. But the verse there, which is goofy and which no one else would really do in any other time, is wonderful. And even the fact that the entire song is about her butt is like, that's fine with me. But
Right.
like on the other hand, I've never listened to what the hell is that? Iggy Azalea. I had never listened to Iggy Azalea until like the whole VMAs thing. I've listened to Weird Al's cover of Fancy,
Right.
but I'd never heard Fancy. And listening to it, I'm like, it's a good beat, but it's so, to me anyway, it is so 100% obvious that that is a person with no talent whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
that is like, she's Vanilla Ice, and not because she's white, but because she just like, she's terrible. Like, it's so obvious that they're like, oh, okay, she's gonna be gone in a week and a half.
Well, she might be in the sequel to the Turtles movie, if she's following the career trajectory of Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
But,
Well, yeah, but I mean, we'll see if that's a hit. But
Right.
so maybe she'll parlay this into a long-lived, celebrated acting career as Vanilla Ice did.
right.
But anyway, I'm saying there's things that are like ephemeral and of the moment. That's what's fun about pop. And so I think there are certain things in Shake It Off that like I think the horn section is something that is like popular to do right now, but will still sound cool
hmm
decades from now.
Yeah.
The talky middle part, I don't think. To me, it sounds lame already, so it won't sound good years from now either.
Okay. That
But-
reminded me. I mean, I like that a lot, but it reminded me a lot of Avril Lavigne. That one song a couple years ago. Well, like
The
10 years ago.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, because she does
Yeah.
like it's the exact same kind of like stop thing, and I can't remember what she says, but and I actually like that song. But
I know
Uh,
it's kind of a good song. I agree.
yeah, I remember that she seems kind of like bratty, but it was a good song. Anyways, yeah, Iggy Azalea. I don't really know. I've heard Fancy. I heard the Weird Al one first. So yeah, I can't speak to
Like
that.
obviously, whenever a white rapper comes out, people, it's like, you know, ooh, are they just a, you know, it's a difficult waters to navigate. Like even for someone like Eminem, who's obviously turned out to be very important and really good, it was not immediately like accepted. Even though he had like Dr. Dre backing him.
Right.
But like someone like her, it's just like, oh my god, she can't even. It's like to me, it's like if on New Girl, like Zooey Deschanel was like doing her best like hard rap impression to be funny. Like that's
Right.
what it sounds like. It sounds completely like an impression. It doesn't sound at all like somebody who
Well,
actually
that's-
has that talent.
For Shake It Off or for Iggy
No, for
Azalea?
Iggy Azalea. For Iggy
Okay.
Azalea. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I don't know if I've actually listened to her.
You should listen to it. It's really
Okay.
bad. It's really, really bad.
Okay. Well, you should listen to it. It's terrible.
No, just so you know what's going on
right.
in the world.
Yeah, I probably should. You know, I actually did though. I listened to that Lord album,
Mhm.
the one that came out like
Mhm.
6 months ago. That's not bad. It wasn't.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, the single, I mean, Royals is kind of like the Gautier song. I like when something comes out that's like, oh, that's weird. Like it's so weird sounding that. I mean, now everything sounds like that. Like Lily Allen's single "She's-Us," which I actually think is good, is exactly just like let's make this like Royals. And I think who is it? There's like The Ariana Grande song that's a huge hit is basically Thrift Shop, except it's actually kind of good. But it's totally just like, oh, let's make Thrift Shop. But when Thrift Shop comes out, or when Royals or that Gautier song, the name of which I cannot remember, came out, and it's like, oh, this is like weird and minimalist, and it doesn't sound like it's following anything in particular.
Yeah.
And everything's gonna sound like it for the next 3 years, but right now it sounds completely new. That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole album, minimal is a very good word for it.
Yeah.
But I like the lyrics, though. And I think the first time I heard Royals, I didn't really get... Like, I wasn't listening very carefully, and I didn't really get it. So I kind of dismissed it. But yeah, like a couple weeks after I heard it again. Anyways, we're not talking about... We're not shooting Swift, we're shooting the other...
Lord.
Yeah. I can't think of what a good podcast for Lord would be. But
Lording it over.
That was good.
Thank you, Lord. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, that'd be it. Praise the Lord. That'll be our spin-off. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
Speak Now.
All right.
That's the album that we're talking about.
Yes.
Speak Now. This is Taylor's longest album, clocking in at 67 minutes. Although it is 2 tracks shorter than Red, which is 65 minutes long. If forced to choose... What's that?
There's one song in particular that really pushes it over into the longest album ever.
For Speak Now?
Yeah.
Let's, should we...
No, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, if forced to choose, I would say that this is my favorite album of hers. Mm-hmm. I think it's technically excellent in all respects, but also it just takes you to a good place. It's
Would Fearless be second?
I don't see...
Or Red?
Yeah, it's really hard to rank them, because it really just depends on what kind of mood you're in. Like, Red is really sad. Like, there's some really happy songs on it, but I get kind of a sad feeling. Like, there's just kind of a melancholy album. Mm-hmm. Speak Now, though, it's like if you're having a rough day or just a mediocre day, and you put it on, like, by the time you've gotten to the end of it, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, I feel pretty good. Like, and then Fearless is the same way. But Fearless, you kind of got to be more... It is more country, so you kind of... Maybe you're just kind of wanting a little different sound.
See, I think Speak Now is more country.
Well...
We'll have to talk about it. I don't know.
Speak Now, I think, is more... Like, I do think it's country, but it's like pop country. Like, whereas Fearless, I think, is more just kind of... It is pop country, but, you know, like, Speak Now sounds more pop country-ish, I guess.
I think Speak Now has more songs with country instrumentation that sounds like, oh, that's actually how she wrote this song. As opposed to Fearless, where it's like, okay, you wrote a pop song, but we'll play it with, like, banjos and mandolins.
Right.
And so there might be more banjo and mandolin on Fearless, but there are more songs on Speak Now that I was like, oh, this sounds like she actually wrote a country song.
Yeah. No, I think that's accurate, because there were a lot on Fearless when we were talking about it. There were, basically just pop songs with country instrumentation.
I don't know which one I like better, Fearless or Speak Now, because I kind of think, I mean, we can assess this at the end, too, if you'd rather do it that way, but I think Fearless, I think Fearless had more, like, magical, perfect songs on it, but Speak Now overall might be a more consistent and stronger album. I don't listen to albums, I listen to songs, and so I'd probably be inclined to choose Fearless.
Right. One thing I would definitely disagree with in terms of magic. Speak Now is, I think, a much more magical sounding album. And even though, like, the lyrics, like, magic is brought up pretty frequently. And
I just mean, like, where something like, I'm going to go back to it again. Okay, like You Belong With Me or Love Story, where you're just like, good Lord, this is such a good song. Like, this is like a song for the ages. There weren't, and interestingly, like, I had never heard any of the songs on Speak Now before. I knew the title Back to December because I remember the whole Taylor Lautner thing, but I'd never heard the song. I just know, like, Taylor Swift's Back to December references or whatever. And then I heard Mean, but I listened to it after we started doing this podcast because the video came up on YouTube and it looked cute and I wanted to watch it. I guess I probably saw her do Mean I think she did it on an award show or something, but
Okay.
I didn't remember it. But yeah, like Fearless, I don't know. Was this album as big? It did sell more than Fearless, right?
I think so.
I think she's gone up every time she's released an album so far.
Okay.
I think she's gone up in sales.
Right. I'm not 100% sure on sales, but I think you're right that each album gets bigger.
Yeah, it's hard because I think this album sounds great. I think there's hardly any filler on this album.
Right. Like every song. That's the thing. Like, I love Fearless, obviously, and that's like, yeah. But I guess just to compare between the two, like, there are a couple tracks on Fearless where they're just not as good. But like this one, like every single song is just like, there's one song on this that I would skip over every now and then. So I shouldn't have admitted that. That's gonna come back to haunt me. Yeah, I don't know. I think Speak Now is just, I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've kind of said consistent. I really love Speak Now. You might see how, like, if it grows on you, because like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk about I guess we've kind of talked about the production a little. I think the production on this is a lot better than the production on Fearless.
Yeah, it sounds good. I think that's part of what makes it sound more consistent. The songs don't seem half-baked, and some of them on Fearless do.
Right. So what, okay, the way I was trying to think how I would describe, like, the sound of the album, and I picked lush, sumptuous, and then those two I feel like I could defend. But this, okay, it sounds to me like, and she actually co-produced it with Nathan Chapman.
Yeah, and she has sole writing credit on all the songs, doesn't she?
Yeah, every single song.
Which,
yeah.
like, why not? God, just do
I know.
that.
Yeah, her next album, I think there's one song. There was a track. There was like some information leaked, and it's like one song is her solo writing credit.
I'm really concerned, Mike.
Right. It's okay. You've got to trust Taylor. Like, you've got to just go.
No, I don't. You can. I don't.
All right. Well, fine.
I think she's a genius, but I don't necessarily just automatically think I'm gonna like the album. Right.
I mean, if it's bad, I won't like it. But like, well, whatever. Well, okay. But this was the descriptor that, like, I definitely feel is accurate. But maybe you'd be better at explaining how.
Okay.
But this album sounds like distinctly feminine to me. Mm-hmm. You would agree with that?
Yeah. Like, there were moments. I'm trying to think of, like, well, lyrical content. It's so weird to. I know what you mean, but like it's more feminine than just girly. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, girly I would not have used. Like, it just, there's something like feminine about just like even the way the instruments sound, and like I don't know what.
It sounds like someone has had sex for the first time to me at this point. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it sounds like, as opposed to like someone's not in high school anymore. Like, is it the first song? Well, okay, I'll wait until we get to actually talk about the songs. But, yeah, I agree. There's also, I mean, they probably did this on previous albums, but one thing I noticed on a couple of the songs is that the backing vocals are her voice layered. And that, I don't know, it sounds very bright and, like, almost like, I don't know. I know enchanting is, like, a thing on this album, but, like, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. And then there was one song where, like, my first note was some synth pads up in this bitch, because, like, that seems new to me, like the kind of atmospheric, like, synthiness on some of these. It's a little more like Stevie Nicks-y, kind of, in some places. Okay. Which is cool.
I've never listened to that much Stevie Nicks. Maybe I gotta.
Wow, you really should.
I know. I've been listening to Carly Simon though, so that's good.
That's good. See? Yeah, so it'd be super weird, but fine if the way that you got to like Carly Simon and Stevie Nicks and Chrissy Hynde was via Taylor Swift.
Right. Well, that's what's happening with Carly Simon so far. Like, I'm really liking. Like, I've listened to the first couple albums, and she's pretty darn good.
Yeah, so. That Carly Simon, she's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I always thought Carly Simon was like like 80s pop
No!
kind of. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I got like her first album, and I got the best of or greatest hits or whatever it is, where she's like got like a white shirt on the cover. I don't know.
You should
And
listen
yeah,
to Carole King, too.
Carole King. All right, we'll have to. Okay,
Like,
I'll try to keep them.
like she's, I mean, I guarantee you already love several songs by her.
Carole King. What has she done?
You know about her, right?
No, not really.
She was a songwriter, like in the 60s and 70s. And so let me see, like I'm trying to think of like the best examples of like songs that she wrote. She wrote "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?" So like a lot of those like girl groupie songs that you like, she wrote.
Okay. Huh.
So, and then she also obviously she wrote "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman."
That's a good song.
Yeah, so, oh my god.
Doorbell.
Who's at your house?
It's probably the people are still dropping off wedding presents.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you should listen to Carole King too.
All right.
And the Pretenders. I'll try to think of more.
Yeah, send me an email with
Dolly Parton.
recommendations. Dolly Parton. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. A lot of them they're like huge names, and like I know of them, but then I just never. My parents didn't listen to them, and then I never downloaded their stuff or whatever when I was, a music pirate back in my teenage years. Which is,
Busy listening to Nine Inch Nails and Tool or whatever.
I didn't listen to Tool. I listened to Nine Inch Nails,
Good for you.
but yeah. And then anymore, I pretty much just listen to like Tangerine Dream, and that's
Did I ever tell you
stuff.
about the time? So I was like, there's that 76 gas station down the street from our old house, and I was like in my car. I was driving. My dad was in the passenger seat, and I was getting gas. And I think it was nighttime, but the gas station attendant said, "You guys headed to the Tool concert?" I'm like, me and my dad? No. Nothing. What would make you think that?
Yeah.
Like, what? Are you asking everyone? Because I don't know what about me or my car or anything would make him think that.
Right.
And we were in Clackamas, like we weren't in Portland. That's weird. Anyway.
Maybe you just look like a couple of tools. But yeah, no, Tool I never quite got. I think if you're high, it sounds better than it does if you're not high, but
Which is a way of saying it sucks.
I'm not saying it sucks, but yeah, like I'm not high.
Music that only sounds good when you're high is not good.
It doesn't, well, okay, it just sounds better. Like it sounds fine when I'm not high, but then when I'm high, it sounds really pretty good, but it's still like, I mean, my main point is that I'm not high often enough to be a Tool fan. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, so we got a little bit more preamble for Speak Now. I do. So the general focus of this album is words. Like from the song titles, like Speak Now, and then Dear John is like a letter, Story of Us, etc. And then so from the album's prologue in the liner notes, which there's actually a prologue, it's labeled as a prologue. Words can break someone into a million pieces, but they can also put them back together. These songs are made up of words I didn't say when the moment was right in front of me. These songs are open letters. Each is written with a specific person in mind, telling them what I meant to tell them. Telling them what I meant to tell them in person. So yeah, that will maybe give us a little bit of an angle to come at the songs from. Like they are written about a specific person. So that's, we've kind of done that on past albums, but she's actually saying here like that would be a justified approach. So okay, I guess yeah, we're like 40 minutes in and we haven't talked about a song yet. So I will skip this next part until the next podcast. But track 1, shall we start?
All right.
Okay. Well, yeah. What are your notes on mine?
Okay. Well, okay. I'll just read my notes. So I found it. My first impression was that it's a little underwhelming for a first track, at least compared to Fearless, which I didn't think Fearless was like a perfect song, but it was like it got me excited to listen to the album. This doesn't,
Right.
Even the way this song starts, it doesn't sound like to me the first song on an album. But the instrumentation is really pretty, and I said, oh, this sounds a little bit more country, potentially, than the last album, question mark. Little bit generic. It's good. It doesn't bother me. It's solid, but I said, I can't imagine this would be anyone's favorite song. I'm probably wrong, though. And I made a note to ask you, does she have sole writing credit on all of these songs? Which she does, which is weird. Like, it's weird. It's weird. I want to know the decision. I want to know if it was like, I'm going to write this whole album, or if she just had enough great songs, or I don't know. How does that happen? And I said this song kind of sounds like a medley of all her previous hits, in that it uses a lot of, not so much Taylor tropes, but her songwriting tropes, especially, like, most notably the reversal at the end from the I to you thing.
Yeah.
Where she makes it the words the other person is saying, which is fine with me. I said, you made a rebel of a careless man's careful daughter, and then I said, what does that mean, Mike?
That means that...
Yeah, what does it mean? Go ahead.
Well, I would say it's that she was raised by a father who maybe was, I don't know if negligent, but just kind of a reckless man who wasn't super careful, and so she grew up into a sort of timid adult. And
is that what her dad is like?
No, I don't think this is not an autobiography. No, I would. So yeah, so the character is then like, she grows up to be maybe playing it pretty safe, and then this guy that she's met makes her, makes a rebel of her, kind of gets her to let loose, and so yeah, that's how I interpret that lyric.
Oh, and as we were mentioning, this is like, I said this is like an album by someone who has had sex, and I said, this song is kind of like, hey, I'm kind of an adult now, in a way, like, and there's that line.
I think you can be an adult without having had sex, though, right, Kit?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And the line, and there's a drawer of my things at your place, I said, I like that as like a subtle way of saying to her fans that she's now fucking.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's true. There is more, and like, there's mentions like that on Fearless, but they're still kind of removed with like potentially like kind of just the character.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's several lines on this one where it's more like, you can, I don't know, I'm not exactly, I guess I'd have to look at them, but they seem like they're coming from like her direct experience rather than kind of like fictional story, songwriting kind of thing. So yeah, I like the lyric, flight risk with a fear of falling. I think that's good. She's usually pretty good at like characterization, like very succinct characterization. I thought that was a good kind of little phrase. Clever. Yeah, you pretty much covered what I had for this one. I thought she said something too, will never make my parents' mistakes. I know her parents got divorced. I think that was in like 2012. But yeah. Her
parents did?
I'm pretty sure. I meant to look this up, but I didn't get it. I was too busy eating that egg sandwich before we started.
I did not get that impression from like the Journey to Fearless DVD, although they were never together.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like the details of it there weren't a ton of details available. But I feel like it was like around 2012. It was kind of announced that they had filed for divorce.
Oh, I think they did. Perez Hilton has a thing on it from April 8th, 2014.
Oh, 2004? No, it was longer ago than that.
Well, okay, yeah, but this says Taylor Swift's parents are being crazy difficult after their rumored split.
Okay, that was earlier this year. People were saying, like, on the Speak Now tour, or the Red tour, that, like, her parents were being like really rude to crew and stuff like that, and that was pretty unsubstantiated. And like pretty much everything you hear from people that work with the whole family is that they're
this article says they're like separated, not necessarily
not divorced.
It says supposedly they've put off divorce because they don't want to damage Taylor's career.
No, I don't think that would.
It's like, who would give a shit about her parents divorcing?
I mean, I guess I would care, but I wouldn't. I don't think people would be less likely to buy albums. But yeah, I mean, I know that they're still. I think her mom goes to every single show.
But I think they're separated.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, kind of that lyric will never make my parents mistakes, and just worth consideration, I guess. I didn't really have anything interesting to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I think that's like a thing about like being in a relationship, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah. And you had said, kind of just as far as album openers go, that this wasn't quite up to Fearless, in your opinion. And I guess, yeah, I don't know how I'd compare them just in terms of how much I like them. But I do think that this one stands on its own a little bit better than Fearless does. I could see this on the radio, whereas Fearless doesn't seem like it would be like on the radio, like standalone.
Maybe Fearless really grew on me. I think when
Yeah.
we listened to when we did the podcast, I was like, it's okay, it's pretty good. But like, it's especially after watching the DVD thing, like of her performing it, and I don't know, it grew on me. So.
Yeah, it's a really good song. I think it definitely does pull you into that album. So yeah, maybe mine isn't. Although I mean, the sound of Speak Now is all there in mine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it should be on the album. It just doesn't sound like, just even the way it opens just doesn't sound like a big album opener to me.
Well, let's move on to Sparks Fly. So this one is, I told you when I was driving home from Chicago, I was listening to Speak Now, and you had just kind of created the Taylor tropes. So I was laughing listening to this song because this song is entirely Taylor tropes.
Yes. Kissing in the rain.
Yeah, kissing in the pouring rain. And actually, while listening to this, she mentions, "I'm captivated by you, baby, like a fireworks show." She mentions fireworks again later in the album, but doesn't. I think fireworks might be a Taylor trope because.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we should add that to the list. But anyways, do you like this song?
Well, see, I said it's complicated. I said it's not setting me on fire so far, which I didn't mean to make that a pun, but I guess it is. But I think it's very strong. Like, it seems very tight, back to basics, solid. I guess this just sounds confident. Like, she's established what her thing is, like what her sound is, and this is her doing it. So Lee was leaving for work as I was listening to it, and he said, I kind of like this song.
Nice. I like that, Lee.
But yeah, it's really strong, and it's a great. I think it's a really good song. It's just missing the thing that like Love Story has for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I said it's missing that Pixie Dust shit that she has.
Right. Well, okay. So yeah, I think it is like lyrically it's pretty simple. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. But a little fun fact for you, Kit.
Okay.
You hail from Portland, Oregon.
I do indeed.
And that is the all capital letter message in the lyric booklet for this one.
Interesting.
Yes, and I guess some people have kind of traced that back to she opened for a guy named Jake Owen in 2006, and he has green eyes, and they played a show in Portland, Oregon. So that's I guess people have tied that back to that, but I thought that was worth sharing.
And the pouring rain then might actually make sense.
See, no, I would disagree with that because it never pours rain in Oregon. It's just cloudy for 9 months.
It's just little angels pissing.
Yes, it's nothing for 9 months, and then it never rains, and you just feel bad all the time. Okay, so back to December. I love this song. So what do you, I guess a lot of these, I don't have a whole lot to say about them, but I love this song. So.
Well, I knew this song by reputation because of the whole Taylor Lautner thing. And I've seen Valentine's Day, and I knew that they were dating, and that it was about how she kind of dumped him or let it go. Again, it's not my thing, but I think it's good. I think it's the best song so far on the album. I wish I could be more... I wish I could be more specific about why, but it does sound like a hit to me. Like, this, I listen to it and I go, okay, this has... Like, I don't love it for me, but it has that thing that's like, oh yeah, that's the Taylor Swift thing that makes her songs popular.
Right.
Oh, and Taylor Trope, she is being driven around by a dude in this song.
Okay.
I think the lyrics are good. And it's refreshing to have a song about how she kind of screwed somebody over.
Yeah,
Um,
this is one I've pointed to before. Like,
Yeah.
I had a friend who asked, like, if she ever, instead of being mad at the guy, like, if she ever kind of blames herself. And so, yeah, this is definitely. I think this would have been a really hard song to write because it's very well handled. Like, it's very. She doesn't say a single thing about him that's bad. It's just like she completely accepts the responsibility and like takes it on herself.
And I wonder if I'm listening to all these songs and thinking about her and stuff, which is like not necessarily essential to the enjoyment of the song or to understanding the song, but like I wonder if this makes her go like, huh, do I only like guys who treat me like shit? And then guys who are nice to me, I'm like, I'm bored.
Right. There are some songs like that. Like there's like from Fearless, there's The Way I Loved You.
Yeah.
Where she kind of talks about like she's got this nice guy, but he's boring, and she misses the guy who was like, they're kissing and screaming and fighting in the rain.
Yeah. There was the part at the end too where she seems to be saying like, I wish I'd known what I was giving up. So, like it almost sounds like she wants him back. And from what I remember of that relationship, she probably could have gotten him back. I think my impression was always that he was way more into her and like heartbroken by her dumping him. Like, so if she wanted to get back together with him, I feel like she could have.
She says that in the song. She says like, if the lock is on your door, I'll understand. But, yeah, like this is me saying I'm sorry. But yeah, she basically directly says like, if you want to get back together, I'm up for that.
But I wonder if that was just for the song or if she really felt that way.
Well, yeah, that's true. That'd be terrible if
I know.
he's like, I heard the song. That was a great song. I'm so happy. Let's get back together. And she's like, that was kind of just for the song. That wasn't how I really felt.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song. Good lyrics.
It is a good song. Yeah, I like it. And this song, like, I think this song got more radio play than any other song of hers I've heard. Just in my, when I was working at the grocery store, like this would come on once or twice a day for 4 years. So, which is great. Like I always made sure all my coworkers knew that there was a Taylor Swift song playing. So
great, good for you.
Yeah.
Thank God you were there.
Yeah, nobody wept when I quit, so I don't know. But okay, so track number 4, Speak Now. Kit, speak now about this song.
Okay, Mike, what do you think I think of this song?
I think you really like this song. You love the way her voice sounds. You love the lyrics. You love the way that she laughs after she says...
No, that's what you think. What do you think I think of this song?
I think you love like the music, like the organ sound. And I think that you're also, off topic of the song, that you're always slightly bummed at weddings when they don't say "Speak Now," like when they skip that part.
Okay, but
that's
what you think of that song. But what do I think of the song?
That's what I think you think. Probably.
Do you have trouble like imagining outside of your own like tastes? Okay, so here's the thing. For some reason, I read the lyrics to the song before I listened to it.
Okay.
And
you loved it when you listened to it. All right. So track 5 was Dear John.
And okay, I'm reading the lyrics and as just reading the lyrics, not listening to the song, I was like, holy shit, this song is terrible.
Okay. I think though that you might. I think that you probably do love it, like I was guessing, but that what you failed at the moment, what you failed to see was that it's just a fantasy. It's not like she's actually going to steal somebody's husband away at the altar.
I know that.
Right. So you like it now. Okay, so you got that.
No,
so yeah.
Okay, so here's
the track 5 was Dear John.
Let me just read you how I felt about it. So I said,
okay.
These lyrics are like fan fiction by a 12-year-old. So yes, I understood it was fantasy. Like I totally understand writing a song from a perspective other than your own or about something you've made up. But if you're going to do that, it still needs to be specific, and this is just like the cliche to end all cliches to me. And oh my god, so like this, is it like the second line is something like, who should be I'm usually not the type who'd be rudely barging in on a white veil occasion.
Yeah, I'm not the type of girl who should be rudely barging in on a white veiled occasion.
Okay, that's horrible. That's a horrible line. That's a horrible. No one would describe a wedding that way. It's just like, oh, do you need a rhyme? I hate it. Terrible.
No, I think you're wrong. about how you think about this song.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Okay.
I don't understand why the other woman has to be a terrible person in order for this concept to work. Like,
Well,
okay.
it's a fantasy. So
I understand.
If in her fantasy the lady was like super nice, it would take the enjoyment out of it for her.
Right, but I will get to that. Okay, I will get to that because like first of all, lots of brides scream at somebody on their wedding day. Okay.
Right.
It's stressful. Why? Also, why does she always want to be with someone who is about to marry somebody else? Someone horrible. Right. Someone who, in her mind, is horrible. Like, maybe he is horrible, too, if that's who he wants to be with. Okay. Right. Also, I'm guessing that she's being sarcastic about her being lovely. There's that line where she's like, "You're lovely. I guess I didn't get an invite from your lovely bride," or something like that. And it's like, why? Do you really think she should have invited someone who's being so nasty about her? Literally, like, fantasizing about stealing the groom on their wedding day? Like,
right.
There's... Taylor is the bitch in this situation. Okay, so...
Whoa. Okay.
Sorry. Well, I used a much stronger word in my notes. So I spared you. So
I need you. We can't have this go out there with you saying something like that.
Okay.
That's a clear violation of rule number 4 or whatever it was.
I personally think she would agree with me. Also, I still haven't listened to the song yet. I've only read the lyrics. So, you know that movie, My Best Friend's Wedding? Have you seen it?
Oh, no. I mean, maybe no, not really.
It's with Dermot Mulroney. It's Julia Roberts' best friend, and he's marrying Cameron Diaz, and she's really, really pissed about it, and is like basically trying to break up their wedding. And Cameron Diaz is like really a sweet person in that movie, and so I feel like this is if you wrote a song about the plot of that movie. Except to me, My Best Friend's Wedding is like the sociopath test. So if you enjoy that movie and think Julia Roberts is likable or sympathetic or the hero of that film, then you are a sociopath. And Taylor is basically singing from the perspective of Julia Roberts in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Okay.
And then I listened to the song.
Okay. And what did you think? Okay, so this is all before you had the big change of heart when you listened to the song.
Right. Well, I said, wow, what a shame, because this song is so cute.
Okay, good.
It's such a cute song, but it's literally the worst lyrics I said, and maybe I should remove literally, but it is literally some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard. These are the most... I hate these lyrics more than... I said these lyrics are moves like Jagger bad. But the song is so cute. And and then finally I said, I hope the last shot of the music video is the protagonist of the song in a mental ward.
So, I mean, I was pretty close to accurate when I said that you loved the song.
It's really cute. I wish she would re-record it and have it be about something not this hateful.
Right. No, I hear. Okay, I don't think, we're having good fun here. I do think, though, that it's not, like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I hear you. I agree that it would be, it sort of is like a terrible thing to think, but I think it's also not, maybe because I'm a bad person, but it's not like something I wouldn't think.
But here's the thing, it's not just morally repugnant, they're also just cheesy, awful, cliche, horrible, like, I don't know, there's lyrics out there that make me think of, like, a baby who's like, I just pooped my pants, aren't I cute? That's the kind of song that this is.
Okay. Well, yeah, these are simpler lyrics than a lot of the other songs, but I think you're right when you say that the music is great. Like the music of the song is great.
Yeah, and her vocal and the melody, like I like if I could replace the lyrics with like doop to doop doop, it's great.
Right.
It's really cute.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hear you. I guess.
It almost makes it worse. It almost makes it more sinister. To say something so horrible in such a lovely song.
Right. Her voice sounds awesome on this song, though.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Yeah, like it's
and the
very
coffee parts are cute, like, and the little. It's like God. It's such a shame.
Right. Well, this is sort of your problem with You Belong With Me as well. So.
Except that You Belong With Me is just right on the border. We're like.
Right. Yeah, you're much worse, much more offended by, or much more put off by this one.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
The lyrics of You Belong With Me are not bad lyrics. That's more just a moral thing. This is a moral thing, and the lyrics are terrible. Right.
Okay. Now, yeah, I would agree that these are simpler lyrics, and I would agree that it's maybe.
I didn't say simpler.
Right. Well, you said it was something along those lines.
I said terrible.
Right. Simpler.
Awful.
Right.
Hateful. Horrendous.
Okay. But right. So maybe put yourself. Well, no. We'll move on.
Let's do it. No, let's do it. Let's do this thought experiment.
So let's say you were me.
Okay.
And you were marrying somebody who wasn't Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. And then Taylor Swift comes to your wedding. And she's like sitting there thinking this song. Like this song is occurring, but then she does it. She says like, oh no, don't marry that lady. Come meet me at the back door. We'll head on out of here. Like that, then it becomes a very happy song, right?
No.
No, it doesn't, because I get to marry Taylor Swift.
Here's the thing. No. If you feel that way, why is she at their wedding? She wasn't invited?
Right.
Like, the narrative doesn't even make sense, because I think in the fantasy, she's still sitting there watching this happen, right? But then she's like,
it's like she's sitting...
didn't invite me, and, like, also... I don't think this should be happening, and I hate it, but I'm going to, like, go sit there and think this. Like, why would you go to that wedding?
So that she can speak now, and then steal the guy away.
So, okay, then either she's an awful person for thinking that and still attending that wedding and just fantasizing about speaking now, or she's an awful person for speaking now.
Right. Well...
Either way, she's an awful person. In this song.
But
the character in the song is an awful person.
There you go. I would agree. Okay, moving on to track 5. But yeah, good job, Kit. That was a good assessment. Some hard truths to listen to in that, but I think we've all grown a lot.
Uh-huh.
We've all learned a lot. So track 5, Dear John. Let's see. I guess this is stupid. Whenever I did this on the first podcast too, but like I wrote my notes in full sentences instead of just writing like little notes. So I have to like read this whole thing before I can like speak it. Otherwise, I just read straight from the page. So if you're listening, Mike, don't do that again. But so yeah, this one I said it's the hardest Taylor song for me to listen to aside from Ronin. Which have you listened to Ronin? Okay, that's a really sad song.
Why is it called that?
Ronin. It's like the name of a young boy who died of cancer. Oh. And Taylor like read his mom's blog and like wrote this song and like donated all the.
Read?
No, it's like a one-off. It's like on iTunes. It's only a digital single, but all the proceeds went to like cancer research charity or Children's Hospital or something like that.
Do you like? If you ever run into John Mayer, should he fear for his life?
No, I mean I'm pretty scrawny, so.
But I mean, I feel like you would. I don't know. Do you hate him with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns?
Not really. I mean, yeah. I guess no. I would. Yeah, not really. I think she seems like she's over it. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Why is this hard for you to listen to? Because it's bad, or because?
No, it's because okay, yeah. I guess let me elaborate on that.
Okay.
It's an extremely personal song. Like it's personal for her, but it's like super personal for him. Like the things she's saying, and like I've known.
So it's excruciating. Like if you imagine you were him, more so.
I guess so. Yeah, sort of. Just like thinking like how it would have been for him to hear it, but at the same time, like if I've known people who have some of these flaws that she's kind of like listing of John, where just like kind of in how they treat women and just kind of in how they view themselves. And like if these things are true, he needs to hear it from somebody. But it would they would be very like hard for the ego to process. They would be kind of hurtful. But it'd be like humiliating to have this be like a song where people knew that it was you that
Well,
was
that's
being
what he
talked about.
said. He said it was absolutely humiliating.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I know. I guess I understand why he would feel that. Like, because that's.
But I don't feel like she shouldn't have done it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't
Actually
feel
I
like she
like
crossed
this.
the line or anything.
No, I don't either.
Okay.
But I think like that's the reason it's hard for me to listen to, is because like just imagining how it would be to be him, like hearing that, it's just like pretty devastating. So
I actually do feel like she crossed the line, but not in talking about John Mayer. But I'll get to that.
in a different song, or
No, in this song.
oh, in this song.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say another thing is like from this song, you don't get the impression that he totally like just dumped her, because it sounds like she says something like kind of so he was just kind of stringing her along, playing the game with her confidence, and then she stopped picking up his calls. So you don't get the impression that it was like a big, like explosive breakup where he just like dropped her or anything like that. It's like he kind of kept calling her, thinking like she was still kind of playing the game, and then like she didn't pick up, and then like I don't know, 6 months later, like this song comes out, like so. Yeah, so that's kind of another thing where it's not like he was like a giant asshole and then this happened. But so having said that, when I finally did get around to like not skipping over this track when I was listening to the album, like I think the lyrics in the song are really good. Let's see here. Okay, so long were the nights when my days once revolved around you. I think that's a really good turn of phrase. Then at the end, she says, I'm shining like fireworks over your sad, empty town. I think that's a really good, like, let's see. Yeah, like, I just think that's a really great image. It's like, plus, like, it would be super cool to say that to somebody who, like, fucked with you. Like,
There were a couple that I picked out, too. Like, I like when she says, never impressed by me acing your tests. And
yeah,
also,
that's a good one.
What's the one I said? Oh, and you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand. And I said,
Yeah.
that's a sick burn.
It is. See, both of those lines, too. Like, I know guys who are very much like that. Like, that's how they treat people when they're in relationships with them.
There are also some terrible lines in this song, though.
Okay. Well, okay, sure. Well, go ahead. That's
Okay.
really all I have to say about this one. So let's.
No, I think okay. The line I don't like the girl in the dress cried the whole way home, cuz like the girl in the dress, like what the hell is that?
I think that I'm guessing that like maybe he called her that at some point. That's how I've always thought about that.
The girl in the dress?
I don't know. That's just like that's I've just always pictured that as like that was like she was like the girl in the dress.
Hey,
or
who's that girl in the dress?
I don't know.
That's how she's Taylor fucking Swift.
Damn straight she is.
And then I don't you think I don't mind the line don't you think 19's too young, but when she says to be played by your dark twisted games, I don't like that. And I don't like when she says, or maybe it's you and your sick need to give love and then take it away. I don't know, the parts that sound like to me they sound like they could have used another pass, where it's like this is like if you're writing an angry letter, like if you're composing an email that's angry, this would be like the first draft that you show to someone and they go, no, cut this, or at least I don't know. Do you show those things to someone? I would, but. Yeah, you like, oh, the sick, I don't know, that's the stuff that sounds like someone not as smart as her writing a letter, whereas lines like, and you'll add my name to your long list of traitors who don't understand, that's like, okay, that's specific and really cutting.
Right.
Like, that's better than your sick need, that kind of
That's
stuff.
true. Yeah, it sounds like a movie trailer kind of.
Yeah, and,
right.
Okay, my biggest, okay, so here are just a couple of random notes.
Wait, real quick though,
yeah,
did you say that you do or don't like this song?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
I do not. I think that some of the... I think the lyrics that make me uncomfortable, I'm like, that's good. Like, that's good songwriting. There are lyrics in here that are like, oof. Like, that's...
Right.
and I really was not looking forward to listening to this one.
Right.
But overall, I do not think it's a good song. Because... You know how... I believe I described... Teardrops on My Guitar as dirge-like. This is like, this song is it's so slow. It's so, I mean, it doesn't need to be quite that slow in order to convey pain. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, okay, slow equals pain. So let's make this like freaking molasses. And that bugs the shit out of me. And then also,
but molasses is so tasty.
it's really funny because I thought like, God, this song's over 6 minutes.
Is it really?
Bohemian Rhapsody is about 6 minutes, and I looked it up. This is exactly the same length as Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, that is not one of these, like, that should not, does this song deserve to be, I'm pretty sure, Bohemian Rhapsody works its fucking ass off to earn 6 minutes and 41 seconds. This song does not. This song could be 2 minutes.
Is this song really
better? Yes.
6 minutes? Wow, okay.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
Because even just like, I look at it as like, okay, I think of this kind of, and maybe this is how petty I am, but like, this is an insult song. If I were writing this song, I would want it to be as painful for him to hear as possible. And to me, if this song is like 2.5, 3 minutes, and it's just like, burn, 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 out, like, that's so much more like, fuck you, than 7 minutes of like, you know what I mean? Like, that makes her seem weak as opposed to just like, fuck him, kind of.
Right.
I also kind of wonder if, you know, there's like little guitar bends at the beginning.
Little guitar
like,
what?
There's little guitar bends like at the beginning of the song.
Okay.
And I'm like, I heard them. And I'm like, is this a clue that this is about John Mayer? Because they sound a little bit out of character for her production style. I'm like, that's like John. That's like, this is about John Mayer. Here's some guitar bends to tell you. Like, yeah, this song sucks, but some of the lyrics are good, and it's a good vocal performance. It's just like, it's so indulgent. The length and the sloth of it seem very indulgent to me.
Okay. A fair criticism. I disagree, but yeah, I think that's all pretty valid. I didn't realize it was almost 7 minutes long. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be like
on
longer.
A 67-minute album. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look it up, but I think that has to be her longest song because I know that All Too Well is long, which All Too Well is on Red, and I love that song. But I don't think there's anything on Red that's close to this. Anyways, rambling. Okay, so yeah. So what makes you think it's about John Mayer? I do like that. Like, it's called Dear John, which is like typically like a Dear John. Isn't like a Dear John letter kind of like an anonymous letter?
No, it's a breakup letter.
Oh, it's a breakup letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're thinking John Doe.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, you're right. That is what I'm thinking. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I like that it's like a joke that like it would be anonymous.
But it is though. It still is because Dear John could mean she's breaking up with anyone, but the guy's name happens to be John. Okay,
right. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. She should have called it Dear John Doe. That would have really thrown people.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to Holy God. We've been talking for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
That's longer than this album.
Oh.
So track number 6, Mean. Do you want to go first on this one?
Sure.
Okay.
This is the best song on the album.
I agree.
In my
Yay!
Okay.
Did the balloons fall? I hit the button. Did the balloons fall?
They did.
Good. Yeah.
How did you get them up here?
I had Lee install it last night.
Oh, okay. That's very nice of you. Very thoughtful. The fan's on though, so it's chaos. My first note is finally sensible banjo. Like I was getting really worried that like, oh God, am I just like racist against banjos? But
Kit, will you do me a favor? Will you release a solo album called Sensible Banjo?
Okay.
It's just you looking kind of serious on the cover with a banjo.
No, but I was seriously thinking the other day. I was like, God, I love Steve Martin. Like I didn't think I hated banjo, but no, it sounds well, and it also sounds truly country. And it's another thing that makes me think this whole album sounds more country to me than Fearless. Like more
this it's kind of bluegrassy almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which makes me like I wish she would do a bluegrass album.
That would be awesome.
And I kind of remember her doing this on some award show, and she was like in a fake barn set with like like a 3-piece like acoustic band, and she had like a Dust Bowl era frock on, and it was like cute. I liked that performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a really good song. My one gripe is that it's something that I think I've griped about before in her music, and that is that cities are not inherently better than small towns.
Right.
But the backing vocals on the end sound really cool, and this is one of the things where I think it's her voice layered doing her harmonies, and it just sounds, it's a kind of a weirdly modern touch in this like bluegrass kind of sound, and I don't know, it's just great.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds really good. The music and everything. Okay, well, yeah, my notes were, yeah, I agree. This is my favorite song. This is the first one that struck me when I was listening to the album, like back in, 2010 or whenever it was. But yeah, for me, this one sort of, at the time, there was a lot of, anti-bullying stuff going around, on TV and movies and music. And it was really bugging me because I felt like, it's kind of like how, it felt very insincere, because I remember when I was in high school, which was it was 2000 to 2004, people call each other faggot all the time, everything was gay and everybody was a faggot, and I really don't think I called things gay or called people faggots, and it was kind of it wasn't I was taking some big stand. It was kind of just oh, that seems insulting to people who are gay, and that occurred to me very early on, and so I didn't say it. And so all of a sudden it was there was this big movement where it's then if you did say faggot, it meant that you just hated all homosexual people and wanted to kill them and stone them, and it got taken to this really weird place, and it felt like the people who 5 years ago were calling me a faggot were all of a sudden if I said faggot, they would be just shocked and appalled and would something and so yeah. But then this came, I was listening to the album and this came on, and it was just I think it's such a great, I'm sure there was other stuff I missed, but I feel like this is just the best anti-bullying message, in a song. Yeah, because and I think the reason I think it strikes me as more sincere is because she gets the people who are bullied, the feeling, let's see. Okay, so there's the lyric, knocked me off my feet again, got me feeling like a nothing. That is such a great, that's exactly what it feels like when somebody just takes a shit on you. You just, it's like you got the wind knocked out of you or something like that. Mm-hmm. But then she also gets the bully. I bet you got pushed around, somebody made you cold. So it's she sort of understands both the characters in this drama, and then the cycle ends right now because you can't lead me down that road. So it's she's not just telling off the bully hey, you're mean and you shouldn't be, and you're just an inherently mean person, or something just you're just a bully. It's that simple. But it's so rather than just kind of having to be divided, there's the good people and the bad people, it's you kind of understand both types of characters. But then one of the characters says I'm going to take the cycle ends right now, I'm going to take control of this, and I'm not going to be like you. If you're mean to me, I'm not going to be I'm my choice. My revenge on you is to not be like you. And yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, I think it's really cool.
I agree with you, because the thing that I think bugs me about the bullying stance, and I will say, every kid deserves protection from physical violence and harassment. And that's, I think that, to me, that's part of a school's job. Yeah. However, no one is entitled not to be bullied. It's just to me, it's so obvious that people not liking you and making fun of you for no reason will always happen. Always.
Right.
You'll never stop that from happening, and it's so weird. There's this renewed thing of stop bullying, and yeah, there's a difference between a gay kid getting the shit beat out of him or killed for being gay or being harassed to the point of killing himself, or not gay, whoever, and someone calling you faggot. I think there's there's a difference between those, and it's weird to me. There's we need to stop. This is how we're going to stop bullying. Blah, 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 we're going to prosecute bullying. To me, bullying does not stop by going after bullies.
Right.
Bullying stops by giving the same advice that probably Mike Brady gave 40 years ago, which is like, hey, he's really only bullying you because he has low self-esteem, and as long as you don't let him turn you into someone like him, then you'll be okay.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And the point, you want to learn, the bullying can help you.
Right, well, yeah, we talked about that. I don't think that was on a podcast, but yeah, we talked about that, how, like, people who have some, whether it's bullying or what, like, some great obstacle earlier in life that they've overcome or had to work with, like, so often, that's, like, that is the backstory of somebody who's done something great.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah, so it can...
No one has a right to never have anyone be mean to them.
Right, yeah, and it's just like a silly, it's kind of like, well, that would be getting very off topic, but it's kind of like how people would talk about, like, terrorism, like, after September 11th, like we're going to fight a war on just the concept of terrorism.
Yeah, on something do you really think that you'll eradicate children being mean to each other sometimes for no reason?
Yeah, it's strange. Like, it's, I guess I kind of understand the sentiment, like, that they're just trying to be, like, they found something that's bad and they're trying to get rid of it. But yeah, It's just a very silly...
Like, because certain things are crimes. Certain things are defined as crimes and aren't crimes.
Right.
Certain things you can get a kid arrested for doing them to you, and it should be a school's job to deal with those kinds of things. But as of now, calling someone a faggot is not a crime, and I fucking hope it never is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not because I like the word faggot. It's just because...
No, I hate the word faggot.
Right.
But
a whole nother...
Yeah, I mean, it's just the idea that the way to deal with bullying is to try to keep people from being mean to each other. That's crazy to me.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
As opposed to something like this that says, like, hey, yeah, I love that basically the song is like, hey, why are you being so mean to me?
Right.
Because if you actually did have, I mean, obviously that wouldn't help you if you were getting the shit kicked out of you every day, but, like, would be a very disarming question to ask some bullies.
Yeah. They just kind of pause. Well, I never really thought about it before.
Yeah, but that can happen if you're like, if you're able to say, hey, why are you being so mean?
Well, yeah, whenever and I guess we're not giving advice to kids or whatever, but, like, whenever I got picked on when I was in school, which, fortunately it wasn't often, but whenever I was, like, I think the way I handled it usually was, like, if you're comfortable with yourself being the butt of a joke, you kind of just make a joke at your own expense and, like, show them that, like, if they pick on you, you're not going to, like, it doesn't really get to you that much, and that usually is enough to diffuse, like, why they're coming after you, because they want to really get to somebody. But then, yeah, and it was the kids who, I guess, who never quite mastered that. It seemed like those were the kids who just kind of kept having like, a bully come back to them. Not to say that it was their fault, but just like...
nobody was telling them, hey, that's more about them than it is about you.
Right, yeah, and it was, like, you kind of have to, you just kind of have to understand, you don't have to, you maybe should try to understand, like, why this person is doing this, rather than just being, like, completely perplexed by it. Anyways, I'm just kind of talking out my ass, but yeah, I think the song's really cool because it understands both sides of it, like, both characters, and then the response isn't just like, quarantine the bully and all that kind of thing. It's more like, and there are a couple moments in the song where she does sort of indulge, like, bashing on the bully, like, he's going to be older and, like, drunk in a bar and talking.
Yeah, I don't like that, like, football and small towns
right.
are like, that's what assholes do.
Right.
That's where assholes live. That's where people who've never done anything with their lives live.
That's true. There's a little bit of that to it.
But it's fine. That's like a classic thing.
Yeah. I guess it's, it doesn't bug me that much, but anyways, okay. Track number 7, The Story of Us. Yes, I did. The Story of Us. So this one, I had very little on it.
Me too.
I said, I like the story. It's fun to kind of follow through it with the lyrics. Mm-hmm. Like, the music is catchy. But I think it's kind of like Forever and Always, like, not the piano version, but the album version, where the lyrics are, like, so much sadder than the catchy music. Like
Yeah.
then, or like like the music would make you think it's kind of like a fun song, but then you listen to the lyrics and it's like, oh damn, that's real sad. But yeah, and I like the lyric. This is looking like a contest of who can act like they care less. But yeah, other than that, I didn't have. Did you have any?
Yeah, I basically felt the same way. I think that the like story structure is compelling and interesting. And I said I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's serviceable. But it doesn't sound like a hit to me. Like it doesn't have, like you said, like the Forever and Always version. That's just like, this is good and this is fine. It belongs in this album, but it doesn't sound like, yeah, this is. It's not super exciting.
Right.
But
I think this was
vocal.
I think this was a big standalone hit.
Never heard it in my life.
Okay, I might be wrong.
But it did make me go, yeah, I think this is her most consistent album so far. Like, there haven't been as many standouts as Fearless at this point, but there haven't been any really low points except for me, Dear John is a low point.
Okay, Dear John. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
But Fearless had several songs where I was like, okay, this is just like a rehash of that other song, and that other song is better. You know, this doesn't really have that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just saying it. But the whole time, in the end, I think this is her most consistent album. But at this point in my listening and my notes, I was like, seems to be her most consistent album. Because even this song, which I don't love, is still more solid and confident than probably Fearless.
Okay, I gotcha. All right. Track 8 was Never Grow Up. What'd you think about this one?
Okay, so here was my reaction in real time. Was this seems to be from the point of view of a parent or like a nostalgic song about childhood and family, and it sounds almost identical to The Best Day. Same key, same progression, roughly the same instrumentation. Like it is like another draft of the same song to me.
Right. Well, that happens a lot on this album. It's kind of like a mirror.
I know. It is odd. There was another one where I made that note.
Well, I mean, Better Than Revenge is, well, I guess that's more Picture to Burn. It is sort of like Picture to Burn. But like Long Live is like Chained. Yeah. Let's see.
But I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I think it would be fine if it was the same thematic content, but it is the same song.
This one's different than The Best Day. It's lyrically it's different.
Lyrically it's different, but I'm saying the songwriting, it's the same song. The chord progression, the key,
yeah,
the that little. It's kind of weird to me that they got away with that. However, I like listening to it because her voice is really pretty and it's a cute sound. I don't think it's a very good song, but there's a superficial prettiness to it that's like, oh, this is like, you know, I could fall asleep to this because her voice sounds pretty. You know?
Kind of like
I think it is better than I think it's better than The Best Day. And I appreciate like the balls and or naivete it takes to write a song like this, you know? Like that's unusual, I think, for someone to say like, I wish I could just stay little. Like for a grown woman to sing about that and so unabashedly be like, I wish I was still a kid. Like that's unusual and kind of ballsy, I think.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's like a brave thing to talk about, I think.
Yeah,
especially when you're someone who gets so much shit for being like a little girl.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in terms of like kind of it was a bold thing to do, but yeah, I mean, I do like that as like the subject of a song because I feel that way every hour of every single day. So. Me
too. Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I'm more high school, but yeah, like we were watching home movies when I was on vacation, and it was like, good Lord, like, and it's scary that like I don't remember this. Like I remember so little of that, and that's basically what the song is about. It's like, remember this, because you won't remember it.
Right.
Like,
well, that's that is. I guess not a Taylor trope, but that's like a theme we've talked about in so many of her songs. It's like, remember this, like appreciate every moment.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and she has like the details, like, let me look at the lyrics. Okay, take pictures in your mind of your childhood room, memorize what it sounded like when your dad gets home. And like both of those things, like, it's a very sentimental song. But like both of those things kind of make me sentimental, just because it's like I do remember like my dad would get home when my mom was making dinner, and my sister and I were watching The Simpsons like reruns or something. And then my childhood room, like I had various posters up, and so it's just kind of like, it's cool. It definitely makes me like. It's good to have a song about that feeling for me, but
it makes it's very sad to me.
It is, but I think too, and I kind of wondered. I put this in my notes. Like, I wonder how like because a lot of our audience is pretty young, so I wonder, like, some of it's advice, but some of it like would sound scary. Like, like, oh shit, like this is as good as it gets. Like, I remember people used to always say that in high school. Like, these are the best days of your lives, and I guess I don't. I feel like if I was like a 13-year-old girl listening to this song, I would be like, oh, like. That doesn't sound. Yeah, I mean, the song is literally called "Never Grow Up," so it certainly doesn't make.
Too late.
Yeah,
it's a good song. I'm liking it more and more the more I think about it.
Right.
Like just the subject matter is very appealing. Like she could do a whole album about this concept, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Do you think it's like that strong of a feeling for her? Like.
Well, I might be projecting. It is for me.
Right. Yes, that could be what your.
Spin home,
Right, that's true. That could be what your Banjo album is about.
Yeah.
So don't let T Swift have all the fun. You go ahead and.
Sensible Banjos is going to be about like Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, is that what Peter Pan syndrome is?
Why you sound alarmed?
I thought it was like a pedophile thing.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Peter Pan syndrome refers to younger generations' perceived unwillingness to grow up and their corresponding alleged immature behaviors.
Huh, okay. Well, that's different than I thought it was. Yeah, I guess I've never really heard anybody. I've heard it here and there, but anyways, back to the podcast.
Okay.
So yeah, I like that song. It makes me sad.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. Track number 9. This song I like, and it definitely makes me. It's an emotional song, but it's not really sadness. It's like there's like a yearning emotion, I guess, for this one. But I feel like this one, Enchanted. Like, the song's called Enchanted. Everything about it sounds like magical.
Yeah.
But then it captures the sort of magical feeling of like having a crush on somebody that you don't know, or maybe just met or something. It captures it very well. Like. So yeah. Anyways, different feeling. I don't know. I got a little lost there. What did you think, Kit?
This is the one where I set some synth pads up in this bitch. And I really like that, and I really wish. So
is that synth?
Yeah, the beginning, that like atmospheric sound, I think is like synth pads.
Yeah, I guess it would be. Okay.
So I think that this is a really cool song and with really good lyrics. I really wish it had stayed in the synthy realm and not gone to like the violins and electric guitars.
I love that though. I think that because when you have a crush on somebody, it gets so big and like emotional. I like that
I just love the beginning more than the and it might be purely because it was novel for her. The beginning part was like it sounds very different from her other stuff, and a little bit more like lush and kind of like sensual maybe than the later part of it. I would have arranged this like Nothing Compares to You, basically. Like that kind of like
that's a good song.
Stark, echoey, weird kind of sparkly thing.
Yeah.
But I like it. I said it's pretty, and then I said prophetically kind of a Coldplay-ish chorus.
What do you mean prophetically?
I will get to that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let me see if I have any more notes real quick. But yeah, that would be interesting. Like I wonder, because her new album she's kind of described it as it's going to be very 80s. I wonder if there'll be something.
I'm pretty sure.
Kind of in that vein.
Nothing Compares to You was like 1990 or 1989.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I'm sure they won't be all upbeat, like fast songs. I feel like she'll probably have a mix. So maybe it'll just be a straight up cover of Nothing Compares to You. Wouldn't that be great, Kit?
Mm-hmm. 1990 for Nothing Compares to You. Well, I was in California. We watched the video of me singing along to this when I was like 1.5 or whatever.
Wait, have I seen that video?
I don't know.
Okay. You sang to that song?
Yes. Well, okay, here's the thing. MTV was on like all the time.
Oh, okay.
In our house. So it was like Love Shack, basically any B-52 song, but then this one, I loved this song, apparently, when I was a baby.
Yeah.
And I would sing it.
How old were you?
Well, it came out in 1990, and I was born in 1988, so I was 2-ish.
I want to see that video.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's so much of me, like, I'm singing, like, Love Shack, and the part that goes, like, tin roof, rust, and, like, I did that as a baby, like, perfectly, and I'm singing it by the coffee table, watching the video and, like, dancing, and then Sydney is, like, a real baby, and she has her hands on the TV, and it's just, like, bouncing her diaper butt up and down. It's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That sounds pretty good.
I have all those videos. I'll show you them.
All right. I know what we're doing when I come to Chicago.
Yay!
Yay!
All of Taylor Swift's acting credits and me singing when I was a baby.
It's going to be a rough weekend. Okay, let's get back to the brass tacks, please.
Okay.
Okay, Enchanted.
Revenge?
Well, I'm trying to see if I had any. Yeah. Oh, for Enchanted. Well, okay, like this, and then there's a bonus track on the album called Ours, are like two of the only songs I can think of where Taylor like expresses sort of not liking being surrounded by tons of people all the time. Because at the beginning she's saying like forcing smiles. It's like let me find it here. Forcing laughter, faking smiles, same old tired, lonely place. So like, and then walls of insincerity. And then Ours has a little bit more stuff like that. But like, sometimes I wonder about her like just constantly being bombarded with giant crowds of people like everywhere, unless she's like in her house, basically. And she's always like, she's always got her game face on, like she's always totally rolling with it and seems so glad to see everybody. But I've always wondered like surely no human being could stand that much socializing.
Yeah.
So I guess that was just a little note I thought it's interesting. It doesn't pop up often, but at least we have some evidence that she knows that feeling. So. Okay, but yes, let's get on to Better Than Revenge. Kit, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I'm just gonna go through my notes, I guess. I generally like when she does the talky stuff, but the beginning of the song is really stupid. In my opinion.
Okay.
Whenever she says whatever she says. And then I do feel like we acknowledge this every episode, but just to say, she's not required to write emotionally mature songs or healthy songs or songs that give good advice. She can embody any kind of feeling or character she wants, and just because a song is bitchy or immature doesn't make it bad. That said, I hate this song. Lyrics aside, I hate the sound of it. It's like an Avril Lavigne song and not one of the good ones. But the lyrics really bug me. Like, I want to say, and I feel like we've said this before, boys and girls out there, no one can steal your boyfriend or girlfriend if they don't want to leave. And
actually,
she said that recently, didn't she?
I was going to say, I think it was that interview in The Guardian where she was talking about feminism.
Yeah, and I was like, as I was writing this, I'm like, I feel like she just acknowledged that, like in her old song, she thought that was a thing. And I think she acknowledged recently, I feel like I just read something where she said, yeah, I used to think that someone could steal your boyfriend, and I don't think that anymore, or something.
Right. Yeah, okay. That was in my notes here. Yeah, I had the exact same thing. It sounds like an Avril Lavigne song. I don't hate it, but I agree that this just doesn't seem Taylor-like to me.
It's like forced or something.
Right. And I think
that she's great at revenge. I sure don't.
Yeah, I don't either. You know why I don't? Is because I think it was Lorde said something kind of catty about her in an interview, and
even though they're friends.
Well, no, this was before they were friends.
Okay.
But so what Taylor did was like contact Lorde, tell her how much she loved her album, and invited her to her birthday party. So, and it wasn't like Lorde said something awful. She said something like, I don't think it's good for girls to be trying to live up to like an impossible standard like Taylor Swift. So it was kind of like a backhanded compliment. But yeah, like I'm sure if she puts her mind to anything, I'm sure she'd do a good job.
You know why I don't think she's good at revenge?
Dear John?
No.
Okay.
That's pretty good revenge, actually.
That is pretty decent revenge, yeah.
But that video for Picture to Burn, where she gets to destroy some dude's house, she just imagines TPing it.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure
not too hardcore. But yeah, I think she's kind of trying to recapture Picture to Burn, because I know that was like big, like on the tour. She mentioned like people would go nuts for that song, so I think she was kind of.
I liked it better on the tour than I did on the album too.
Yeah, it's like a catchy song.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
Yeah, but yeah, it doesn't feel super. Save it for your album, kid. But yeah, so and I had that in my notes too. She said in a later interview, something recent, that she's moved beyond thinking that another girl can steal your man away.
Which is good.
So, yeah, I think it was good. Did you read the Guardian interview?
I read an article about it, about what she said about like feminism and stuff. I thought it was great.
I do too. I think it's cool that she specified what she likes about feminism, and then what, like, because like, I don't know if this has come through via Facebook. I guess we talked about it some, but like, I like to make fun of feminism as it exists currently, because the main media voices for feminism are like Jezebel and like Salon and Slate and Gawker, and they get very, like, I feel like a lot of times they're just using feminism as an excuse to be mean, like to tear something up, that like and try and expose somebody as like a secret misogynist because they've done such and such. And so I also like that you can't, it's like kind of beyond criticism. Like, you're not allowed to say anything negative about feminism, otherwise people think that you hate women. But yeah, like, I think, maybe it's not obvious, but yeah, I definitely am a proponent of equal treatment, rights, and opportunity for women. I think that's pretty, I think that should be pretty clear with the people I interact with, that I'm not anti-feminist. But yeah, I think feminism in the media just gets really out of hand, and like, I think I can totally see why, she was saying in The Guardian that like she thought feminism was like kind of antagonistic toward men. And I think a lot of the feminism you encounter is very kind of hateful about men. So I thought it was cool that she like specified like here's why I am a feminist. But here's like what she didn't really say here's what I don't like about feminism. She wasn't going into it like very deeply, but she just had said like, like this is what I like about feminism. This is something that turns me off of feminism.
What I liked about it is that when people are talking about what they think, they often don't reference how they came to think that, or how their minds have changed over time. Like, it's seen as like changing one's mind is seen as a bad thing.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like in almost any situation, like no matter what you believe, like honestly, like even if you're a neo-Nazi, if you sit down and tell me like, this is what happened in my life and these are the kind of messages that I encountered that I think have made me think this way,
right,
I'll probably go like, well, I see why you're a neo-Nazi. I mean, I think that's wrong, but like, I get it. And so when she it's so much harder to just blatantly go, what a fool, I disagree with you, when she sits down and says like, yeah, this is what I thought at one time. And even when she's talking about like this song and she says, yeah, I no longer think that people want to say, no, I never thought that, or oh, I've always been a feminist, or no,
right,
I never actually thought that someone could steal your girlfriend, as opposed to saying, yeah, I thought that, I was 17 or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like that aspect of it, that she's not afraid to develop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a cool element of it. And I guess thinking back to it now, going back into the roots of why we think what we do, I think part of the reason I became critical of feminism in the first place was because of Jezebel, and it was an article called Taylor Swift is a Feminist Nightmare. And I say article pretty loosely. Nothing on Jezebel is actually would withstand the the actual definition of an article. But yeah, it was just this blogger talking about how because Taylor Swift is a certain way that she's like the end of feminism, and liking her music means that you're not a feminist and that you're, I guess, regressive would be the word. And I thought it was so ridiculous. Like, I hate that style of feminism where like you have to think that that all women have to behave a certain way to be truly feminist, and like they all have to believe a certain, like that's very like antithetical to what most of those kind of theories of criticism are generally about.
And like your particular bugaboo is feminism in the media, but you could take literally any kind of ideology as represented in virtually any media, and it's going to be awful.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you think
I mean, feminism is a thing of the moment. I agree.
Right,
but
yeah.
like liberal, conservative, none of that is represented with any actual, Christian, non-Christian, whatever. All of it, the media will tell you nothing about anything.
Yeah, very true, very true. So,
and I think that's kind of what she's saying is like, yeah, I had certain messages about feminism because because the internet exists.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was go like, oh, the internet doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about.
Right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess I don't have much more to add on the subject. But yeah, I thought it was cool. And I thought it was funny too. She said that it was because in like conversations with Lena Dunham that she'd had. So I thought that's neat. I still wish I could just be like a fly on the wall listening to both of them discuss whatever, but particularly discuss like feminism. Like, I would love to hear what Lena Dunham said to Taylor Swift about feminism.
See, and I think what she said is that like I got the feeling, and maybe she was just trying to present Lena Dunham that way, but that Lena Dunham didn't say anything about feminism. It was just watching what Lena Dunham does, just like watching her.
That's true.
Do things like make her show and deal with stuff with shit that she gets, and just like, oh, okay, this is why she does things in a certain way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true that I don't think she said, and she specifically said that Lena didn't preach to her about it, but that it was that, like, through watching her and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Although, while I'm on an anti-Jezebel tear, the vocal isolation thing, did you see that? Where it was Taylor Swift's performance at the Video Music Awards.
Yeah, he sent it to you.
Right. Yeah, he sent it to me. Deadspin, for the listeners, Deadspin had isolated her vocals during the VMAs. So that it took out the lip syncing, it took out the crowd noise, and it took out all the musical backing. And listening to it, like, it wasn't like stellar. It wasn't like you would just put that vocal track out by itself and people would buy it on iTunes or whatever. But like, I didn't think it was bad. Like there were one or two points where her voice like wavered a little bit, but like she's running around on a big like spiral stage and being thrown around by dancers and stuff. So it's kind of like, I got it. Like, that's about what I would expect a live performance. For somebody who's not like Mariah Carey or famous for their voice.
Mariah Carey doesn't move when she sings, though.
Okay. So yeah, and so to me, it wasn't like bad at all. But it had been posted on Deadspin, which is owned by like Gawker, and which also owns Jezebel. But it reminded me of when Jezebel put the thing up about Lena Dunham in Vogue, and like they were like, we will give $10,000 to anybody who can, show that Vogue made this like ugly fat hog Lena Dunham look so good on their cover, and then like they were just being assholes, like under the guise of like.
Lena Dunham was like, thanks guys.
Right, exactly, yeah. and then when they got the pictures, it was like, oh, like they hardly changed anything. Like she actually looked that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it just that was something I guess that had been in the news this week. That
they retouched her a lot on the cover, but on the inside photos, really not that much.
No, and I mean she doesn't look like. I don't know. Their point seemed to be that like they had tried to make her fit some artificial standard of beauty, and that they were oppressing. But like if you look through it, like they're just basically saying that she doesn't look good, and like it doesn't make sense that she would look good in photographs. And it was very kind of that was kind of kind of lame. But anyways,
Well,
we can...
I want you to know, though, that with that isolation thing,
Yeah.
I've defended the shit out of her to leave.
Nice.
Just so you know.
Good. Well, so did he think it sounded bad?
I think he was making an argument that, in my opinion, made no sense. Because, basically, I was arguing from the point of view of reality, and he was arguing from the point of view of, like, his personal tastes. He thinks that if you are a singer, which, first of all, I don't think she's primarily a singer, but
No.
if you are a singer and you are putting on a show, then you should either do a show in which you can sing or not do the show, basically. It's like, if you want to be the kind of person who runs around stage performing, then you have to be able to actually sing while you do that. And my point is, almost no one can. I would say Beyonce is pretty good. I mean, that is like an enormous, that's like Olympic levels of athleticism.
Right.
To be able to run up and down stairs and sing powerfully. And so I agree, because of my personal taste, I would rather have seen her just sing that song and sing it, and because of who I am and because of the kind of performers I like, especially given the fact that she's not a dancer, and like we talked about this a little bit via text, you and I, but I think it's very misguided to put out a video about how you can't dance and then mount an elaborate dance performance in order to... What?
I mean, she wasn't dancing like crazy she had dancers all around her, but she wasn't...
Yeah, but she had choreographed dance moves.
She did, but it wasn't like she was doing anything like Justin Timberlake,
right,
which is
like,
like, holy shit.
But I think that's because she can't, not because she couldn't if she could. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so to me, like, I had a kind of an awakening recently where Jennifer Lopez performed on, like, the American Idol finale, and Jennifer Lopez cannot sing at all. She's gorgeous and a great dancer and has had some good hits, like, written for her. But she performed on American Idol, and I was like, I would watch 2 hours of this. And I know she's not singing at all. There's like 3 backing tracks, and she's maybe going like, and no one can hear her. I'm not hearing her. And even those backing tracks are auto-tuned and perfected. She can't sing. But the performance was like, holy shit, this bitch can dance. She's like so cool. Like, she just, the athleticism of her performing and being so magnetic and beautiful and amazing. I'm like, that's great. Like, that's a talent. That's something that not everybody can do. That's entertainment. And so people who... But she couldn't do it. I couldn't see this if she didn't have backing tracks that could sing for her. You know what I mean? And so my argument to Lee was like, if you want huge, like, spectacle performances for something like the VMAs, then you have to just accept that they're not going to sing. That anybody other than Beyonce, who also uses backing tracks and help and that kind of thing. Right. Like, but it's such a rare tier of person who can do that, who is strong enough physically and has a strong enough voice to do that. And Beyonce is obviously like a rare voice. But like Mariah Carey's a great singer, but she doesn't even walk back and forth when she's singing. She stands at the microphone and sings. Because that's what she needs to do. And same with Aretha Franklin. It's not like it's been so long that singers were expected to, like, run up and down stairs and do backflips while they're singing. Right. And it just bugged me, his argument that, like, well, then she just shouldn't do it. And it's like, I kind of agree. I would rather see her just, like, play guitar and perform the song rather than dance, especially since she can't dance. She's an awful dancer. So... don't try to do... So I don't like... The thing I didn't like about it is if she's trying to be something she's not, I don't enjoy that. But the whole using backing... And I agree with you. I don't think her live singing sounded that bad.
No, I didn't think it was... I mean, it was almost exactly what I would expect for any performer, like, who's jumping around and stuff like that.
Right. But I think... I mean, most people don't even bother singing live at all. So... Right. I thought that was... But yeah, I thought the thing is on the whole was misguided, but I don't think that has anything to do with the fact that she used backing tracks.
Right. Plus, Deadspin's like sports, so I don't know why... I feel like every time I go to Gawker now, it's just
everything's BuzzFeed.
well, everything's BuzzFeed, but then like anything they say about pop culture, like unless it's Beyonce, it's just mean. Like they're just like, I don't get it. And like I used to love that site. Like it used to be so funny.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
Have you ever been like a fan of the AV Club?
Yeah, I used to go there probably about the same time, like between 2000, maybe like 6 or 7 and 2010.
Well, like especially after I moved to Chicago, I was like really into it. And then, I mean, to be fair, they got their entire staff was poached by Pitchfork.
Right.
But,
yeah.
like, it is straight up BuzzFeed now. Whereas, like, the headlines are all like, you won't believe, blah, 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 or guess who's doing this? And it's just, like, meme bullshit instead of, like, that used to be a criticism website.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, I feel like there was, like, we kind of had, in, like, the 80s and early 90s, we had, like, the golden age of cable television, where nobody really knew what it was for yet, and so there was all this experimentation and just, like, fun, you know, weird stuff going on. And I feel like that was like the same way for the internet up until around like 2009 or 10, where suddenly people were like getting degrees in like how to, you know, streamline web content, and like, you know, Web 2.0 was like this big like kind of buzzword thing. And so yeah, now like it's like cable. Like every channel, every website is exactly the same. It's all, you know, BuzzFeed or Upworthy or Slate or Salon. Like they're all that sort of just horribly obnoxious and completely, you know, vapid sort of, you know, either journalism or whatever it is they're trying to put out there. But anyways, we still got a few songs, so we should get back on.
Long ass album.
Yeah. Okay. So Better Than Revenge. So yeah, we talked about that.
Innocent.
Okay. Moving on to Innocent.
Yeah.
I have a lot of notes on this one.
I don't have a lot of notes, but I have one question for you.
Okay.
So the thing that I looked up about this album is how old John Mayer and Kanye West were in 2010, and they were both 32.
Really?
This song is completely about Kanye.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Well, go on, because I've got, like I said, I've got a bunch of shit, but...
That's all I have.
Oh, this is crazy.
It's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I think this song is lame as shit, but it's amazing to me that she wrote a song about Kanye West.
Yeah.
And then, and openly.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
No, that's, okay, I'll just kind of go through my notes.
She
Again,
performed this song at the VMAs, I think.
She did. Yeah, she did. It was the year...
I didn't see it.
Okay.
But it was the next year.
Well, you should watch it. That was actually, it was the year after the Kanye incident, and it is just her. She's not dancing around, so it is just her.
I'm sure the only reason she did that, because was this a single? Because it's not a good song, in my opinion.
I don't think it was a big single.
The only reason that she did it is to answer the Kanye thing.
Right.
Just to invite that back, like that's, I don't know. It's just it's a very weird choice to me.
Okay. Well, let me burn through my notes real quick, and I want to hear kind of your responses on it, because you know way more about Kanye than I do. Okay, so listening to this, and especially like looking at it really carefully, it's never like, I think this is one of her most like ambiguous songs, but all the conversation I've ever heard about it is just everybody's just like, hey, what's that song about? It's about Kanye, and maybe it's because I don't know anything.
That's what she said.
I know, but like, and I mean the capital letters are "Life is full of little interruptions," which is what the photograph on her mantle with her, you know, Kanye stealing the mic from her, like that's what it says. So it's like she is saying this is about Kanye West. So I agree to that. But like looking at the lyrics, like there's so many things that to me don't tie. I don't know what they tie to. They don't tie to any sort of Kanye reference, or maybe John. Like you're saying, John Mayer, maybe going back at it with that understanding would like bring things to light or whatever. But okay, so but it's supposed to be about Kanye, but I can't see how it all fits to that. Some of it definitely does, but like, okay, so I know that, I don't know much about him or listen to his music much or know anything about the VMA stuff beyond the general details. But I do know, and I think we said this a couple episodes ago, that like after, like a few days after the VMAs, he called her and told her like that he was sorry, and that apparently, I don't know what he said to her. She after that did not speak really in interviews about the incident. well, I mean, she would bring it up, but she wouldn't like kind of go into like their phone conversation or whatever. But I know that, like, I guess afterward he was really ostracized and like just got a lot of hate, and like he left the country for a long time. That it was apparently that it was very, very hard on him. Maybe not because of what he had done, but because of the consequences of what he had done and just kind of the backlash he got. But I think I just don't picture Kanye running around like as a kid, like I can't think what it is, like catching fireflies or whatever she says. Like to me, that it seems like it's about. It doesn't seem like it's. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like it's about Kanye West.
I think she's applying like a universal. To me, how I heard it is like everyone started that way.
Right.
Like everyone who maybe goes through shit or seems like an asshole at some point started out like this and has been this. That's what it seemed to me. It seemed like a very like empathetic.
Yeah.
Like even and to the extent that it also applies to John Mayer, same thing where it's like there are certain, I don't know, you're an innocent, you do bad things sometimes, or certain things get in your way. And his mom had died like not too long before the VMAs, and that they were, I mean, she's like the love of his life.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I hear it. Is just like, and when she repeats that he's 32, like he's still a young man, you know.
Right.
Doing these. That's how I heard it.
Okay.
But only knowing that it was about Kanye.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes more sense. I agree. Yeah, it's very empathetic.
I don't think she knows anything about him either, other than his age.
Right. I'm sure she listens to his music.
Yeah.
Maybe not Yeezus, but I could see her listening to like the earlier albums. But okay, that's good. Yeah, that's interesting. It's good to hear.
Do you like Yeezus?
I kind of did like Yeezus.
I would think you would, because it's like a little bit industrial, like it's a little 9 Inch Nailsy.
Yeah, the thing with Yeezus and almost all of his other music, like what is it, Dark Twisted Fantasy and stuff, is I cannot take his lyrics seriously, just because he's so like accidentally, like he's just, the way he presents himself in the press and in media and stuff, I just like I can't listen to Yeezus and listen to like the sort of like revolutionary, or like the like he's posing as like a revolutionary type of figure, but then he married Kim Kardashian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't take anybody who would marry Kim Kardashian very seriously.
I get it, but I think that's what makes him, I don't know, that's what makes him so fucking fascinating.
I guess so.
Like, he's a complete idiot, but also an incredible genius.
Right. I think
that's fascinating.
Yeah, production-wise, he is a genius. I have no disagreement with that. But just like, even listening to his lyrics, like sometimes they're really funny. Like there's one in Dark Twisted Fantasy. He says, like this, like actually, I never crack up at a song, but he said, "You got too many Urkels on your team. That's why your win's low." Did you ever watch Family Matters?
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Or
so like
on Jesus Walks, he has like Kathy Lee need Regis. That's the way I need Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. So stuff like that, like that's super funny.
Yeah.
But then when he's trying to like posture as like he's challenging racists, or like he's challenging racism, or he's challenging capitalism, or things like it's just like, no, like he doesn't know what he's talking about, and so it just comes off as very phony and shallow and just kind of like co-opting.
Right, but see, I get it, but like, to me, he never challenges capitalism. Because I think he acknowledges, like, New Slaves
right.
is about how, but he doesn't say, like, we need, like, he says, I do this, basically. Like, no one's more, like, materialistic.
Right.
In a way. He's, like, almost a poster boy for materialism. As you said, he's married to Kim Kardashian.
Right.
And, like, what I find fascinating about him, and especially, like, to me, like, Runaway is maybe the best example of him he's just so conflicted. Like, he's so able to acknowledge what a shithead he is, but then also has so much incredible bravado.
Right.
And
Okay.
that weird, tortured complexity is like very interesting to me. And like someone saying like, hey, by keeping us wanting new sneakers, that's how they keep us in this, but I also want those sneakers. Like, that's that's so much more interesting to me than just like, down with capitalism, which is a
Right.
fucking moronic stance to begin with. But anyway, like, that is, I don't know, that's what makes him a genius, I think. Cause
I don't think that makes him a genius.
I think it does, because I don't think very many other people are able to go, this is the thing that's killing me, but I still want it. Like, that's a very, like, honest thing to say, I think. This is the thing that's making me miserable, but I still want it, and it's also, like, I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hadn't thought about it in quite those terms. That is,
Like,
maybe,
if you
yeah.
listen to Runaway, and it's about, like, a lot of that song's about his, like, treatment of women. And it's just, like, it's very odd to listen to, because at points you're like, God, what an asshole for treating women that way. And then he's like, the whole song is, yes, I'm an asshole.
Right.
And I don't like it, but I also just am. It's interesting to me. He's fascinating to me.
Okay. I guess, yeah, and you don't need to answer this, obviously, but, like, for me, the thing, listening to those various conflicts, like, certainly it's cool to express the conflict, but then to go nowhere with it, like, it just seems kind of like an endorsement of what he's pretending. I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's having it both ways, but it's pretty cool that he gets to have it, like, the way he has it, like, so it just seems, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's stupid. That's, I wouldn't say that, but it's just, it's hard for me to really get into his music because of those conflicts, and that he doesn't seem to go anywhere with it.
Which I think, see, I read this amazing, what I think was a really, really good article on BuzzFeed of all places about, it's called In Defense of Kanye's Vanity, The Politics of Black Self-Love. I loved it. And I thought about it, I was like, if I showed this to somebody else, would they be like, no, this is stupid? No, I think this is a really great album. And it is true, I think, that and it's the same thing that happens with female artists with regard to feminism, is we expect, like, I think John Mayer could come out with a song about what a douchebag he is, and you wouldn't be like, not you personally, but people would be like, yeah, that, because there's a tradition of, like, the Rolling Stones are, horrible people in a way, but it's like, yeah, it's awesome. But
right.
When a black guy is like, there's so much more of a burden to solve a problem, or to present a solution, or to not just present conflict, but somehow, like, rise above conflict, or often offer a path, or be a role model. Same with someone like Taylor Swift. Like, you're a young female artist. You have to have healthy attitudes about relationships, or you're going to influence your young female fans in the wrong way.
Right.
And, like, that's not a burden on just, like, white male artists.
Yeah, I guess that you're saying that, like, that there's, like, an added, so, like, there's an expectation on him as a black cultural figure that he has to resolve these conflicts that he brings up. Mm-hmm. But I'm having trouble thinking of white musicians that would bring up conflict, like social conflicts, like that kind of act the same way. And I guess, yeah, so I'd have to look at maybe how I would view a white artist as doing the same type of thing. But honestly, there's no, whatever race you're looking at, there's no parallel to Kanye West. He is like him or hate him, he's definitely unique.
Yeah, and I think it's hard if you don't like his music, because to me, the fact that Kanye West's music, in my opinion, lives up to his crazy personality, it's like, otherwise, if he was Iggy Azalea, I would be like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But he is not. He's very, very important, I think. Wow, what is this, a Kanye West podcast?
I guess so. We could probably cut that out and make a Kanye episode.
Okay.
Although I don't know what we would call Kanye. We'd be heading west. That's what we call it.
Yeah, like West Ho.
Yeah, West. Good job, Kit. West Ho.
All flight on the Western Front.
That would work.
Okay.
It'd be like all casting on the.
All Kanye on the Western Front.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, did we finish with this? Okay, let me look at my notes here. Okay, so for Innocent, yeah, like I do feel like it's pretty ambiguous, but I guess personally, what I've taken from it is it's like encouragement for me when I've like failed in a battle with various thoughts, like if I get carried away with like anger or indulge sadness or avoidance or something like that, or just like fuck up in general. That like this song, because it's like so empathetic and forgiving, it's sort of just kind of like if you're being really hard on yourself, like the song was just kind of like, hey, everybody makes mistakes, just try harder in the future. So that's what I get from it. But this song, I've always been confused by this song, just as to like kind of what it's about. And I feel like the lyrics are good, but they, although there's one, okay, I like, as far as the lyrics go, wasn't it beautiful when you believed in everything and everybody believed in you?
Yeah.
I like, but then this one, I don't know if it's, well, I'll let you be the judge. I don't know if it's just like a mind-bending good lyric or if it's a bad lyric. But you wouldn't be shattered on the floor now if only you had seen what you know now then.
I know! I almost wrote that down to bring it up, and I was like, whatever. That's awful.
Okay, see, okay. Let me play.
Here's the thing. I don't think she's going for a kind of like wordplay thing. I think it's just like, this is how I need to phrase this in order for it to rhyme.
Okay. Which may be. Like I said, I didn't know what to think of that. But like every time I hear that, I'm kind of like, wait, what? That's,
yeah,
okay.
I know, me too.
So,
if you'd only seen what you know now then. Yeah, no.
You know now then. Maybe if...
Not
now,
good.
yeah. And I think the only thing... Let's see. Okay, and at the beginning, she says, you lost your balance on the tightrope, lost your mind trying to get it back. And then at the end, it's lost your balance on the tightrope, it's never too late to get it back. So it does make it kind of like an encouraging song. And, oh yeah, this is a stupid note. And we've already talked about the song for 20 minutes. So, but I just thought that who you are is not what you did is a very... I'm constantly trying to draw like philosophy from Taylor Swift and like kind of understand like how she views the world and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that that's just such a philosophically loaded...
You know that makes you a lot like Charles Manson, right?
Well, I mean, see, you said that when I told you I was taking all of my friends to that ranch to do acid, and like, I feel like that's just not fair. Like, people do that all the time, so... and that we ended up murdering... never mind. No, and okay, the reason I looked to her for philosophy, because like I told you, I go to this music because like I used to be mean and bitter. Maybe I still am. I don't know. But like I just like felt like shit all the time. And I was like depressed, and not like all the time, but it's just like that was just kind of my mindset and like how I approach things. And this, music along with other things has kind of like it's really helped me like pull me out of like that style of thinking and that I just kind of grew up with. And so yeah, that's why I like go to this and like because like she is so, and it's a celebrity image that I see, but it's so sorry, am I boring you?
No.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know. Okay, well I heard you. It breathed. And I didn't know if that was if that was well, that was it again. Okay, but yeah, so it's like I just basically want to know like what makes her tick and like how a person can be so good at so many things and like seemingly so like balanced and like just have such a functional and positive approach to everything. Like I just think it's bizarre, and I want to be that way also. So, anyways, but yeah, who you are is not what you did is a. I can think of some philosophers who would perhaps beg to differ, but okay. So track number 12. We got 3 left. We can do this. Haunted. I have very little to say about this one.
Okay. There's an elephant in the room with this song, and I'm shocked if you don't also understand it.
Give me a clue.
Okay, well, I sent this to Lee, and I said, listen to this song, and give me your very first reaction as you listen to it.
Okay.
And because I wanted to see, like, this has to be obvious, as it was to me. And he said, yeah, this is totally The Scientist by Coldplay.
Let me listen to that real quick.
100%.
Okay. Which album is that on?
A Rush of Blood to the Head.
Oh, this song. Okay.
Now listen to Haunted.
Yeah, damn. No, you're right. That is,
And because it's like, because I will even concede, if it was just the same chord progression, then fine. Coldplay didn't invent that chord progression. But the
Right.
boo-doo, and then the guitar solo in Taylor's song too is exactly that. And it's like, I mean, The Scientist is one of the biggest songs of this century in terms
Right.
of just like what a huge hit it was, how influential it was, how many people like of all ages know and love that song. It's like
Right.
the most generic, easily beloved song of our generation, and it's like, and especially knowing that she likes Coldplay, I was like,
Right.
how did this make it on the album? It is identical,
I
but bad.
have heard that song, but I did not catch that, and I've listened to Haunted like 1,000 times. But yeah, I did not. But that is interesting. I mean, hers is definitely much more like swept away, like grand, and I think faster. But yeah, that's
That would be like someone using the bass line to Seven Nation Army. To me.
right. Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
and being like, what?
Right. I wonder. Yeah, I have not encountered anybody, I don't know, calling her out or anything like that. That's interesting though. But yeah, she's a huge Coldplay fan, so that would be.
Well, I'm
that's
going to
what
just do a quick Google search right here. The Scientist, Haunted. Let's see. Boom. Taylor Swift, Haunted sounds like Coldplay's The Scientist.
Okay. Who wrote it? Is it an article or just a blog or forum?
It's soundsjustlike.com.
Okay. Interesting.
And there's like a million mashups of it on YouTube.
Okay. Huh. Well, yeah, interesting. I don't. Yeah.
And then it goes to...
Is that why you don't like the song, or?
No, that's not why I don't like it. Although that kills... Even if it was great, that kills any chance of me appreciating it. Because, like, to me, that's just so ignorant to do something like that. But I really don't like this song.
Well, but you were just saying a second ago that Nicki Minaj's new song, or even Kanye's song, like the King Crimson thing.
That's not a sample.
It's not a sample, but
that's
it's
acting like you wrote that song.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so you don't like the song. Is there any, just the lyrics, or aside from the music being
I think
Coldplay?
the vocal is good.
You like Coldplay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like Coldplay. I kind of hate them too because they're so Coldplay-y. But but
They're really trying hard to not be, though.
well,
like the
that's the
last
thing.
two albums.
I've determined they're just trend chasers
Okay.
at this point. I haven't liked any of their songs in a while, but I think their first album is great, their second album is great, and their third album's pretty good. And then I could give a fuck. But
Is the third album X and Y?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. After that, it was
Viva
Viva
La
La-
Vida, which is like the worst song I've ever heard.
Really?
I hate
Oh.
that song.
I got bad news for you.
What?
You got to listen to a Taylor Swift cover of it coming up.
Oh God.
It's awesome though. It's so
Maybe
good.
hers could be good. That's fine.
It's
But-
really good.
So the reason I hate it, and like Lee summed it up perfectly. It sounds like Evanescence covering Coldplay. I just do not like the super dramatic, like like new metal kind of, music. It's emo.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, yeah, I like the song, but I don't. I don't disagree with anything you've said.
Okay. You agree that it sounds like Evanescence covering Coldplay?
I mean, I can hear that. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
a relative factor. But I do like the song. So.
Okay.
Plus,
Well,
this is as spooky as she's ever gotten. So this is like the only this is the only Taylor Swift song I could conceivably
put. I wish we could do a Halloween episode.
I was gonna say this is the only one I could put on like a Halloween mix. Although I made a mix for my friend last year where I sampled the beginning of Forever and Always, where it's I Hold On to the Night. Anyways, forget that. So, moving on to track number 13, Last Kiss.
I really, really was hoping this would be a cover of the Wayne Cochran song.
Wayne Cochran.
You know the famous Crash song? Oh, where can my baby be?
Pearl Jam. I know Pearl Jam did that.
They covered it, yeah, but it's from the 60s. Because I would actually love to hear her do a version of that song. Like, I think that'd be really cool if she did like a Crash song.
Yeah, I agree. Wait, she's done a. You're saying like a song like that, or just a song about car crashes?
Well, that's a whole genre of rock music, songs about crashes.
She did a song with Tim McGraw called "Highway Don't Care."
Do they crash on it?
I don't remember. I know it's about don't text and drive.
Highway Don't Care.
Oh
Lord, I'll look forward to that. We're doing that in our collabo episode, right?
We certainly are.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's. I think it's pretty drippy, but it like fits better with the good songs on this album than Haunted. To me, this sits alongside Mean as like belonging to this album better than Haunted does. But I don't like it.
Don't like it. Okay. This song makes me very sad. I like it, but it makes me sad. It makes me very sad. So, I think my note was. So I'll watch your life in pictures like I used to watch you sleep, and I'll feel you forget me, I feel you forget me like I used to feel you breathe. I think that is the saddest thing I've ever heard, possibly.
Yeah, that's sad.
So sad.
I understand that feeling.
Yeah. So it's a sad song. I like it, but that's all I have to say. I feel like if Long Live didn't come after that song and like the album ended there for some reason, there would just be like a wave of suicides like all across the nation. Because it's such a sad song. Like I've never listened to it before just by itself, but like when I was doing the podcast, I'd listen to each song, several times as I write about it or take notes or whatever, just by itself. And after like the second listen to this one, I was just like, good Lord, like I can't listen to that again. Very sad. But anyways, track 14. This is our last one.
Yay!
Yay! So Long Live. I like this song quite a bit. I love this song, as a matter of fact. I think we had talked about this when we talked about Change. Mm-hmm. How, like in Change, it kind of bugs me a little bit how there's like that sort of like teenage kind of revolution sort of thing, which is just a little silly. It's not inherently bad. But I think what's really cool in this is there's like a maturation. Is that how you say that? Maturation?
Yeah.
Okay. Of the sentiment in Change. Like in Change, she says, these walls that they put up to hold us back will fall down. But in this one, she says, long live the walls we crashed through. And I think, like, there's still sort of that feeling of, like, triumph and, like, revolution and all that kind of stuff, but there's, like, a very, it's much more mature to view it as, like, we broke down the barriers, or, like, we've accomplished these great things, but, like, I don't know, I just think that's really interesting. Long live the walls we crashed through. Like, the obstacles that stood in our way, sort of, like, get on them anyways I think, I like this. I don't know, for some reason that strikes me as cool or interesting. Also, the song has, like, a ton of the fairy tale imagery, which I love. You got kings and queens, you got a hero, which is on a history book page, but still, it's kind of fairy tale-ish. Yeah. The kingdom lights, which, is either religious or, I guess, if it's just regal. But long live all the magic we made, and then, fighting dragons. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And then, it's again, kind of, she does this a lot, but the acknowledging kind of like the transience of, just all things. Where she says, like, if God forbid fate should step in, So I think her point is, well, okay. So she says, after she's gone, like, tell them her name and show them the pictures, and then at the end, it's one day we will be remembered. So I kind of like how, like, she's got this fairy tale imagery, and there's like the kings and queens and the heroes and fighting dragons, and then it's like, then she's talking to her band and the audience, like her fans, and she's saying, like, one day we will be remembered. So it's like she's a legend, like her, today is a fairy tale, or like her life is, like, she's become like this hero, and so she's like legendary, and I don't know, I think it's really cool, like, that it ties all that stuff together, but I also just think it's a cool song.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I thought of it as being about, like, the end of the Fearless tour, especially after watching that documentary thing. But yeah, I had the same moment. There's, like, more toward the end, I'm like, oh, it sounds like she's talking about her audience, too. Like, her fans are part of, they're very much in that together. Like, they did what they did it together, and it's very nice. I think I agree, this is a really good song.
Yeah, good.
And along with Mean, probably the best on the album.
Okay.
And great closer for an album.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it just sounds good. It's powerful. It's good.
Awesome. I'm glad you like, because I was afraid, like, I know you didn't like Change, and so I was thinking...
Change sucks, though.
Well, right,
That's why
okay.
I don't like Change. This is a good song.
Right.
Change is a horrible song.
For some reason, these seem very similar to me.
Well,
but,
they are. I think you're right that Change is the before and this is the after.
Right, the more mature, or kind of. So yeah, well, good. I'm glad you like it. And actually, building on kind of sharing it with the fans, the, like, all caps message in this one is for you, which is, either it could be a whole variety of things, but it's sort of, for the person who...
Well, yeah, I think she really feels this way. I mean, that's the impression I got from the concert footage or movie too. Is like what is fun for her about this is doing it with other people, not being the star. Although I've no doubt that is also fun.
Yeah,
it's the relationships that she's able to have because of what she does, and the way that, like, I don't know, I buy it when she's like, hey, this is bigger than me, this is about all of us, and that's nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's very cool. And I think there's a lot of celebrities that are that way, but it still seems like it's sort of rare to see somebody who's, like, that big.
It's probably weird to put a song, I can't think of anyone else who's put a song on their album about, like, how much they loved their tour and their fans.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of different. So.
And their band, like.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Well, any additional notes on the songs or albums, Kit?
No, are there Taylor facts?
There are Taylor facts.
All right.
I did a pretty poor job this week, but.
Okay. What are we doing next week?
Next week.
Because I have a second disc of.
Right.
For Speak Now.
I gave you that disc.
Yeah.
But we're legally, we've done this.
Oh yeah, you bought it for me.
I bought it for you. So, next week we're going to do all the Speak Now era music videos. We're going to do the Target exclusive bonus disc for Speak Now, and I think that'll be it. Are you back in school now?
Nope, not for a month.
Oh damn! All right. Well, maybe we'll find some other stuff we can do then. But I think that will give us plenty to talk about. I mean, considering today we've talked for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
We need to not do that.
Yeah. Although I think we did. I didn't. Sometimes I hit that wall like an hour and a half in where I just can't think straight. I feel like maybe when I listen to this again, I'll be like, what the hell was I talking about? But I think we did a good job today. You certainly did a good job, Kit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're supposed to say, like, you did too. You're supposed to just be like, hey, thanks for saying that, Mike. Now you did a good job too. We can add it in later. That's fine.
Fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
I'll have to take clips of me saying all those words individually and put them together.
You did a great job today, Mike. Okay. Taylor facts. Oh, also, if you want to send us an email, send us an email to shootintheswift@gmail.com. That's Shootin, no G, the Swift, at gmail.com. And also, I'd like to say a big thank you to, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say her name, but we actually have one more follower this week. I think bringing us to a total of 2 on YouTube.
Really?
It's somebody who I don't know. Maybe it's somebody that you know. But
what's the name?
Well, okay, we may cut it out. I'll say it now. Maybe just bleep me out later. But her YouTube name was Janelle D.
I don't know.
Okay, it could just be a perfect stranger. But if you've made it this far, and you're actually listening to these,
you might be happy to have a shout out.
Well, right. I guess we could. Okay, well, if she hears this and it's bleeped, then shoot us an email, and we'll give you a big shout out in the next episode. Because so far you are, I think the first person that followed this was like Lee's brother.
Andy told me he loved episode 3, by the way.
Good. Is that the one where we talked about the self-titled bonus stuff, like the music videos?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, I don't think anybody I know has listened to any of this yet, or ever will.
Alex doesn't he?
No, he's downloaded them, but I think I was in the car and he listened to like the first 20 or 30 minutes, but then he turned it off. But,
Andy says, and I should include this, Andy texted me and he said, I love the 3rd episode of Shootin', and it was our grandparents that made us a birthday cake for Jesus, not my parents. Now all the kids are going to make fun of me.
Okay. Okay, well good. We should have had that in the clarifications and corrections section.
Yeah, I forgot.
Right. Okay, well, whatever. We can fix that in post.
Say, now it's time for clarifications and corrections.
Now, there you go. You said it. I don't have to,
You're the host.
I don't have to introduce every segment, Kit. It would be nice if you would help me out every now and then.
No.
Okay. Now it's time for corrections and clarifications.
Okay, we'll fix that in post.
our viewer. Okay. But yeah, though, if our YouTube listeners out there, thank you so much. It means a whole lot to Kit and I that we have at least one person out there in the crazy world listening to us. So yeah, thank you for listening. And if you didn't listen and you never hear this, then it's kind of sad. Whatever. So let's get to Taylor facts.
All right.
We've been getting to brass tacks all episode. Let's get to Taylor facts. We can. Okay, good. I was afraid you weren't gonna laugh at that. We have to fix that too.
I wish I hadn't. I tried not to.
Okay. Fact number 1, or is it a fact? Who knows? See, that's for the new listeners. I don't think we're ever gonna get into this. One of these facts won't be correct. So
now, Mike, how would you define fact?
Well, fact.
Who is Taylor Swift?
Okay, well, let's get.
Because if you're just listening and you've never heard of Taylor Swift, then you're going to be really confused.
Right. So we should define both Taylor and facts. So Taylor refers to Taylor Allison Swift. She's a pop.
Oh God.
What's that?
Her middle name?
You didn't know her middle name?
Hell no, I didn't know her middle name.
Oh, do you know her birthday?
I remember because it's close to Christmas. It's like December 23rd or something.
Okay, it's December 13th. Her lucky number is 13.
Oh, is that why it's written on her hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, now we got to start over. Taylor would be defined as referring to Taylor Allison Swift.
One who makes clothes.
Yeah. Okay, and then facts would be, it's like, they used to have these things in the 90s where you would put a piece of paper in it and the telephone would send it to somebody else. So that is what we're doing. Fact number 1. During one show of the Speak Now tour, Taylor and Nicki Minaj performed Super Bass together. Fact number 2. During each show of the Speak Now tour, Taylor wrote a lyric from a different artist down on her arm, from Faith Hill to the Beach Boys to Eminem. Fact number 3. Taylor Swift's grandma, Marjorie Finlay, was an accomplished trapeze artist. Fact number 4. Speak Now sold 1,047,000 copies in its first week. Wow. Fact number 5. In 2012, E! Online ranked Taylor Swift's cat Meredith number 1 on a list of 100 best things in pop culture. So, Kit, which fact is an imposter fact?
I think it's either 1 or 5.
Super Bass or the cat?
The cat. I'm going to go with 1.
So you don't think they performed super bass together?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna guess.
That is incorrect.
God dang it!
Ha!
Is it 5?
Got you again. It's not 5 either.
Well, the lyric one's probably true. So it's how many copies it sold? It sold like 5 million?
No, it's the trapeze artist.
God dang it!
How did you
How
are
do I
so
do that every time?
you are so bad at this. That's incredible. Like that doesn't sound very
I
correct.
should do it for you next time.
Okay. Actually, that'd be fun.
Okay.
You could it'd be like we could call it a segment called like Stump the Smartest Man Alive, and you could try to stump me.
But with a big asterisk that says if you're talking about Taylor Swift.
Well, yeah, that's
Okay.
So the smartest man alive who only knows things that are worth knowing. Okay, but yeah, her grandma, Marjorie Finlay, was not an accomplished trapeze artist, at least not according to anything I found, but she was actually an accomplished opera singer. And you should look her up online, Kit, because she looks exactly like Taylor Swift. It's really weird.
Okay.
So
Marjorie
Uh,
Finlay?
it's like Majorie, like Majorie Finlay. She's really pretty. So yeah, you get kind of.
Oh my god, she does.
I know, isn't that weird?
That looks like her, just like an old-timey makeup.
I know. It kind of makes you wonder if she's like.
Pretty.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if she's like a vampire or something, possibly. I don't know. Just gonna float that out there. Yeah. Okay. That's it. We're done. It's over, folks.
Yay, love you.
Love you too. Bye.